Chapter 3769. Indeed, he was arrogant before. He thought that Lin Xian had no background, so he wanted to crush him mercilessly. But who would have thought that Lin Xian's background was so powerful that the person he picked could beat him up? Threatening me? Humph, you should know the consequences. He Shan harumphed, and the great sage pagoda was smashed down. The Golden Crow elder tried to escape, but half of his body was hit. His flesh was badly mangled, and he screamed in pain in the air. Jin Hai was also sent flying. His body exploded, and he screamed in pain. The scene stunned the other experts and sky prides of the sacred city. He's too strong. A minor saint is just like an ant in front of him. The Golden Crow tribe's minor saint was beaten up badly. He was no longer as arrogant as before. Jin Hai knelt on the ground, trembling in fear. He was afraid that he would be killed by this mysterious person. Run. In the end, the Golden Crow tribe's minor saint took Jin Hai and fled in panic. He broke through the void, leaving behind a large amount of golden feathers and saint blood. Humph, little golden house, how dare you be so arrogant in front of me? I'll test you thoroughly. He Shan sneered. The others felt their scalps go numb. It's too scary. At this moment, Lin Xian squinted his eyes and looked at Lei Chong and Hundred-Eyed Demon Saint. Immediately, the two sky prides took a few steps back. Their minor saints also rushed out and protected them. However, those minor saints felt their scalps go numb. They looked at the tall black figure in the sky and quickly said, "Senior, we don't mean any harm. Well, leave now." After saying that, they didn't dare to stay any longer. They quickly left with their sky prides. Only the dark red divine dragon, Lin Xian, and the mysterious girl in the emerald green dress were left in the field. The old lady beside the girl looked extremely serious. Obviously, she didn't expect that Lin Xian had such a terrifying expert behind him. You want to attack me, right? The mysterious girl looked at Lin Xian and blinked her eyes, showing a pitiful look. Lin Xian asked, "Can you tell me what's in that treasure box of yours?" When the mysterious girl heard this, she smiled sweetly. "Well, I can't tell you. However, I can tell you that it's useless to the two of you. On the contrary, it was of great use to me. I'll remember this favor. I'll return it to you the next time we meet." After saying those words, the mysterious young woman and the old granny quickly left. After everyone left, Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon gathered together. Black Mountain also floated down. Lin Xian asked, "How was it?" "I can still hold on," He Shan said. It's useless. After a few hits, I feel like my whole body is going to fall apart. No, I have to go and rest." Lin Xian and Dark Red Saint also left. They quietly left the evil demon city, erasing all their auras and changing their appearances. After finding a quiet place, the two of them heaved a sigh of relief. After setting up the array formation, Lin Xian and the Dark Red Divine Dragon could not wait to see what was inside the two treasure boxes. After Lin Xian opened them, he was stunned. He found 5 black fruits inside. They were as black as ink. When the Dark Red Divine Dragon saw them, his face twitched. "Pfft, I don't want anything. That kid will give it to you." When the Dark Red Divine Dragon saw these things, his face turned green. Because these 5 fruits were nirvana fruits. He had eaten so many of them that he almost died. So now he would not eat them even if he was beaten to death. Lin Xian was delighted. He heard from Black Mountain that nirvana fruits were great things. After eating them, one would be like a phoenix rising from the ashes. It would not cause a drastic change. Of course, he also knew that he could not eat too many of these things. Otherwise he would die. With my current cultivation and strength, eating 3 should not be a problem. I'll leave the 2 for the North Demon. Lin Xian thought for a moment. He put the 2 away and took out the 3. Next, he was ready to start his nirvana. The Dark Red Dragon God also opened it, and he found that there were also 5 bottles, 5 black bottles. When he opened them, there was a red liquid inside. At the same time, it emitted a terrifying aura. The Crimson Divine Dragon was startled, and Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. What was that? The 2 of them studied it. Then they found that it was blood. And it was extremely terrifying blood. This thing was very beneficial for tempering the body. Kid, we'll each take 2 bottles. Leave 1 bottle for the North Demon. Alright. Lin Xian nodded. Then he took 2 bottles of super strong blood and went into seclusion. The dark red divine dragon went into seclusion as well. The two of them started cultivating and breaking through. Boom boom boom. After Lin Xian ate the nirvana fruits, his vitality dropped to the lowest point. It was as if he had died. It began. The long process of nirvana. 1 year and 3 months later, Lin Xian's vitality slowly recovered. Then it exploded like a flood. Not only that, the shackles in his body were also broken. His cultivation broke through again and attracted the heavenly tribulation. This time, he broke through to the late stage of the 3rd heaven. His strength had undergone an earth-shattering change. Next, he started using the 2 bottles of blood. This was a kind of tempering and also a kind of torture. He felt as if his body was about to split open. He did not dare to use the blood too much. He only took a small amount each time and smeared it on his body. Another 3 years passed. Lin Xian's aura erupted again. He had reached the 4th heaven. The heavenly tribulation this time was even more terrifying. However, he easily blocked it. At this moment, Lin Xian was already an early-stage 4th heaven sage. He had improved by a whole realm. As for his physique, it had become even more powerful. In the past, he could block the attack of an early-stage 5th heaven sage. Now he could block any attack below the minor saint. After a few months, the dark red divine dragon also broke through and came out of seclusion. His cultivation had reached the mid-stage of the 5th heaven. His physique had also become stronger. It was about the same as Lin Xian's. Even a late-stage 5th heaven sage might not be able to break through his physique. Both of them laughed. This was great. They had obtained treasures this time. This was really great. One should know that ordinary sages needed hundreds of years to break through a small realm. It would be a headache for them to be stuck in a big realm for less than 1,000 years. Only people like them who had obtained heaven-defying treasures could break through in just a few years. Of course, such treasures could only be found by chance. One should know that the treasures sealed in the stone box were passed down from ancient times. Some of them were even treasures from hundreds of thousands of years ago. Of course, they were incomparably precious. However, the effect was indeed amazing. Lin Xian felt that his body was full of power. Now that he was facing Lei Chong and the others, he was confident that he could defeat them within 3 moves. Lin Xian and Ruffian Dragon discussed for a while. Then they prepared to return to the evil demon city. They changed their appearances and came to the evil demon city to inquire about the situation. After all, more than 4 years had passed. They did not know the situation of the Rain clan. Chapter 3770. The evil devil city was still as majestic as ever. However, the people inside had already changed batch after batch. Some people left, and some people came in. Lin Xian easily managed to obtain the information. After all, it was no secret at all. Everyone in the world knew about it. As it turned out, the Rain clan was extremely miserable. At that time, although Wuxia and the others managed to escape back to their clan, they were attacked by the people from the Fiend planet. No matter how they explain it, the Demon Palace's people didn't listen to him at all. After all, their young master had died. Even if it wasn't done by the Rain clan, they didn't care anymore. They wanted to kill until the hatred in their hearts disappeared. At that time, the Rain clan had suffered heavy losses. They suffered heavy losses, but they quickly adjusted themselves and counterattacked with the help of their clan's formations. At the same time, the people from the Spirit Sealing Star also came to help. After all, Di Ling was with him at that time, so he was also determined to be the murderer. The people from the Fiend Star also launched an attack. The Spirit Sealing Star and the Rain clan joined hands to resist. In these 4 years, many great battles had taken place. Of course, the Rain clan had always been at a disadvantage, being completely suppressed. Not long ago, the Rain clan had acted recklessly by launching a sneak attack on the experts of the Devil Palace, causing the Devil Palace to lose 2 minor saints. This completely enraged the Fiend Palace. Currently, the Fiend Palace was mobilizing a large number of experts to proceed toward the Rain clan again. They were planning to completely eliminate the Rain clan. This Rain clan truly did not know the difference between life and death. They actually dared to mount a sneak attack. After hearing that, The Crimson Dragon sneered. Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. It seemed that the Demon Palace was going to launch an all-out attack this time. Let's go and take a look as well. Who knows, we might be able to personally witness the destruction of the Rain Clan. Okay, let's go. The Dark Red Dragon was also interested. Actually, it wasn't just the two of them. Everyone on the Fiend planet was very excited. Many people were preparing to go. Therefore, Lin Xian and the Dark Red Divine Dragon were among them. The Bewilderment Fog ship set off towards the Rain Clan. Lin Xian asked for a palace and sat down cross-legged. They entered the Black Earth and came to visit the Northern Demon. At this moment, the North Demon had almost fully recovered. His complexion was much better than before. However, he was still at the first heavenly layer. Right now, they were lagging behind. However, the Northern Demon was not discouraged. Instead, he was indifferent. After all, he was someone who had experienced life and death. Moreover, he had defeated Black Mountain as his master. He knew that Black Mountain was a great sage. With the guidance of such a master, his cultivation would definitely advance by leaps and bounds. Of course, the Dark Red Divine Dragon and the North Demon would also ask Black Mountain some difficult questions about their martial path from time to time. Black Mountain was able to give them answers. Moreover, Black Mountain was an expert in formations. He was proficient in many ancient formations. Their attainments in spirit formations were also constantly improving. In short, having a great sage to help them solve their doubts was even better than being a personal disciple of a sage king. From the Fiend Star to the Rain Clan, it would take some time. Lin Xian and the others used this time to consolidate their cultivation. On this day, the speed of the Bewilderment Fog ship suddenly slowed down, and even stopped. This caused the people on the ship to be in an uproar. What happened? The Dark Red Shenong's little face also darkened. Damn. I can't be that unlucky, right? He had been on the Bewilderment Fog ship twice. The first time, he was captured and worked as a laborer for several years. Now he actually encountered another accident. Lin Xian also stood up. He said, "Don't be afraid. The death fog can no longer threaten me. I can immediately take you away." Hearing this, the Dark Red Divine Dragon was relieved. As for the others on the Bewilderment Fog ship, they were puzzled. They asked one after another. Soon, they discovered that someone was blocking their way. Damn, who is it? The people on the ship were all stunned. They came from the Fiend Star. Usually they were the ones who robbed others. Who dared to rob them? One should know that the people on the ship were all ruthless people like demon kings. The captain was a minor saint from the Fiend Star. At this moment he was also angry. His face was gloomy and cold, and he wanted to attack. However, when he saw who it was, his face changed and he stopped the Bewilderment Fog ship. I wonder why young Master Fu is blocking our ship? The captain of the Bewilderment Fog ship asked. There was a small spirit ship in front of them. Two people stood on it. The two of them were dressed in white robes. The one standing in front was handsome like a god who had descended to the mortal world. The person standing next to him had a pale face with a trace of coldness. The two of them were from Wuxia City. The one in front was Fu Hongye, and the one behind him was Ghostly. Hearing the other party's question, Ghostly stood up and said loudly, "We're from Wuxia City. We have something to ask you on this trip to the Fiend Star. Open the formation, and let us go up." What? People from Wuxia City? Hearing this, the expressions of the people on the ship changed. The captain's eyes also flickered. Why did the people of Wuxia City stop them? Wuxia City was a sacred city. They had never provoked them before. These people discussed animatedly. Of course, there were also people who said, "Have you forgotten that the chief disciple of the third generation of Wuxia City, Lin Wudi, died on the Fiend Star 4 years ago? Do you think Wuxia City will let it go?" As soon as these words came out, everyone remembered. Indeed, Lin Wudi was so dazzling that day that he could contend with the veteran geniuses of the other sacred cities. But in the end he died in the Fiend Star. It was said that not even his bones were left behind. And in his mansion, 10 minor saints had died. It was such a shocking thing that it was still fresh in everyone's mind when they talked about it. It seemed that the people of Wuxia City were here to take revenge. However, the people they sent were too few. How could they take revenge with only 2 people? They didn't even know who killed Lin Wudi. Young Master Fu, although we're also from the Fiend Star, we don't know what happened at that time. So please let us leave. The captain was very careful. After all, Fu Hongye was an extremely terrifying expert. Fu Hongye stood there, still not saying anything. Ghostly, who was next to him, said, "Don't be afraid. I'm Ghostly. I won't harm you. Don't you believe me?" "What? Ghostly?" Hearing this, everyone was shocked again. Ghostly was also a top genius on the Fiend Star. It could be said that he was known by everyone. However, he left later to participate in the assessment of Wuxia City. Now, it seemed that he had indeed become a disciple of Wuxia City. Since Ghostly was here, the captain of the Bewilderment Fog ship heaved a sigh of relief. They opened the formation. Fu Hongye and Ghostly came to the ship. Fu Hongye stood on the Bewilderment Fog ship, looking in all directions. His voice came out. "My junior brother Lin Xian went missing on the Fiend Star 4 years ago. Rumor has it that he was killed. Now I'm here on the order of the Sacred City to investigate. If anyone has any clues, you can tell me. Of course, if the news is true, my Wuxia City will not mistreat you. And if anyone dares to participate in the murder of my junior brother, my Wuxia City will definitely not let them go." Speaking until here, his body emitted an extremely terrifying aura. The faces of those minor saints changed. Chapter 3771. Heavens, this Fu Hongye is too strong. Perhaps even the veteran little saints like us are no match for her. For a moment, the crowd was in an uproar. Among the crowd, Lin Xian looked at this scene and felt warm in his heart. It has been 4 years. It seems like the Sacred City did not forget about him, and sent people to investigate. Although there were only a few people, Lin Xian knew that Fu Hongye alone was comparable to thousands of soldiers and horses. "Kid, they are here for you." Divine Dragon and Hong also heaved a sigh of relief. "Great, they are not here to rob the ship." After the initial panic, some of the people on the ship began to come forward and provide information. Of course, it was all unimportant information. There were also some who dared to fabricate information in order to get a high reward. Some of the rumors were too ridiculous. Lin Xian's mouth twitched when he heard it. "Please, the person involved is still here. Don't spread rumors." Lin Xian had no choice but to walk out. Otherwise, these people would go crazy. Of course, he also knew the consequences of walking out. It would definitely shock the world. Fu Hongye stood there, listening to the information one after another expressionlessly. The corner of Ghostly's mouth twitched. Damn, this group of fellow villagers was too unreliable. It sounded so fake even to him. When these people wanted to get their reward, Fu Hongye said that he would give it to them after the information was verified. These people were helpless. They did not dare to snatch it, nor did they dare to refute. They could only wait at the side and see if there were other opportunities. At this moment, another 2 people walked over from the crowd. One of them had an aura that was constantly changing, and his face was also constantly changing. When he walked to the front, he finally revealed his true appearance. "Senior brother, I'm here." As soon as he said that, everyone was stunned and looked over. At the next moment, some people were confused and some screamed. "Damn, why is it him?" Some people had seen Lin Xian in the evil demon city with their own eyes. When they saw Lin Xian, they screamed again. Some people who didn't know what was going on sucked in a breath of cold air after hearing this. "What did you say? You said that the kid who died looked exactly like him. Fuck, is this guy here to scam me? Damn it, we only provided some fake information, and he actually dared to turn into a real person to swindle us. Was he not afraid of being slapped to death by the people of the Holy City? This is truly a senior expert, a role model for my entire life. Many people on the Fiend planet worshipped him in their hearts. Look at him. He was a professional liar." Ghostly was also stunned. What was going on? Didn't they say that the 10 saints had descended? Lin Xian had already died in that battle. How could he still appear now? This was too fucking unreliable. Only Fu Hongye's eyes flickered as his lips curled upward into a smile. "Senior brother, this?" Ghostly looked at Fu Hongye, not knowing what to say. Fu Hongye glanced at him and said, "What? You don't believe him? Then, you can try it yourself. Okay. When Ghostly heard this, he stood up. He looked ahead and said, Kid, you're lying to your ancestors. Get lost. If you dare to give me false information again, I'll kill you. Ghostly's body emitted an extremely terrifying aura. Everyone was shocked. 5th layer of heaven. Many people exclaimed. Ghostly was only a 4th layer of heaven back then. Now he had entered the 5th layer of heaven. It seemed that he had surpassed Diling. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Oh, you broke through? Looks like you've improved a lot in the past few years. But you're still not my opponent now. Kid, you're too arrogant. Let me test your skills. Ghostly's eyes flashed with anger. How dare a 4th layer of heaven look down on him? He roared as his aura erupted. He struck out a ghost seal. It was a black jade seal with 4 ghost heads circling around it. There was even blood dripping from it. It had a monstrous aura. Ghost Sky Seal. Ghostly's unique skill was extremely terrifying. When this skill was used, everyone on the ship screamed. Ghostly had become much stronger than before. Yes, there were very few people who could be his opponent now, right? There weren't many in the 5th layer of heaven. This was enough to fight against Shueiyue, Lei Chong, and the others. Was this the change after entering the holy city? It was really too big. Countless people were envious. The corner of Lin Xian's mouth raised into a smile. He struck out with his palm, and directly held the black jade seal in his hand. Then he crushed it. The black law that filled the sky flowed in his hand, but it couldn't hurt him at all. With a light wave of his arm, a terrifying force rushed over and forced Ghostly to retreat. Ghostly's blood and chi churned. Then his hair stood on end. Fuck, who is this person? His strength was actually so strong. He was 1 realm lower than him, but he could easily force him to retreat. Your strength is not bad, but you're still not my opponent. I think you shouldn't make any more moves. Otherwise, it'll be the same as the 2nd round. I'll easily throw you out. When these words came out, Ghostly's face became incomparably ugly. How did you know? Could it be that it's really you? Very few people knew how miserable he was in the 2nd round. Even if they knew, they wouldn't know the details. However, the other party said it out loud. This meant that the other party was indeed that person. That person was still alive. How could it be? 10 little saints had descended, and he had actually survived? Junior brother, welcome back. Fu Hongya stood up with a smile on her face. As for the others on the ship, they were all stunned. What's going on? Is this person really Lin Wudi? Heavens, didn't he die 4 years ago? Why is he still alive now? Could it be that he didn't die all this time? When they thought of this possibility, their scalps tingled. What did this mean? This meant that 10 minor saints descended that day, but they didn't kill him. And all 10 minor saints were dead. What happened during that time? They didn't dare to imagine. However, no matter what, this news was really too shocking. They knew that it would probably sweep through the 2nd astral realm and cause a huge commotion. It wouldn't be inferior to the war between the Demon Palace and the Rain Clan. The captain almost knelt down. Damn, there was such a hidden genius on their ship, and they didn't even know about it. Junior brother, let's go. Fu Hongya said. Lin Xian nodded and then pointed at the dark red dragon. This is my friend. Fu Hongya glanced at Ruffian Dragon and revealed a look of surprise. What a powerful aura. Is this the power of bloodline? Truth be told, he was extremely astonished. He had never seen anyone with such a powerful bloodline before. Ghostly also felt his hair stand on end. He felt that his bloodline and soul were about to be suppressed. Damn, why does this kid have such a terrifying friend next to him? He looked at Lin Xian with a hint of fear. Since they're friends, let's go together. Then, the 4 of them left the bewilderment fog ship. They took a small spirit boat and quickly traveled through the void ocean. After they left, the entire bewilderment fog ship was completely stunned. Chapter 3772. Oh my god, Lin Wudi is really not dead. The news spread quickly. Soon, everyone in the 2nd astral realm knew about it. Have you heard? Lin Wudi is alive again. Alive again? He's not dead at all. It's unbelievable. 10 minor saints came to his mansion that day, and all of them died. How did he survive? Is he trying to fish in troubled waters? Some people thought. What the hell do you know? Surviving in the hands of 10 minor saints is already heaven-defying, even if it's just fishing in troubled waters. Some people were not convinced. Of course, there were also some people who guessed that those were 10 minor saints. Could it be that he was the one who killed them? Everyone gasped, not daring to think about it anymore. The more they thought about it, the more ridiculous it was. No one knew the real reason, but Lin Woody's strength and mystery were deeply rooted in people's hearts. This news caused a great commotion in the second astral realm. On the Fiend planet, the people of the Silver Palace were shocked. White Snake was happy. Young Master Lin is still alive. While the people of the Thunder God City and the Demon City were shocked. That kid is still alive? How is that possible? Among them, Lei Chong, Shuiyu, White-Eyed Demon Saint, and the others looked even more ferocious. So what if he's still alive? I'll kill him myself when I see him again. Lei Chong's eyes were filled with killing intent. The people of the Demon City were also gnashing their teeth. Not only these old rivals, but also the geniuses of the other saint cities had their eyes on Lin Xian. They felt that this person was too strange. He had unlimited potential and could be a peerless enemy in the future. Some people even decided to eliminate this threat in advance. At this moment, Lin Xian and Fu Hongya were shuttling in the spirit boat. Senior brother, I don't want to return to Wushuang City for the time being. I still have a place to go. Where are you going? Fu Hongya asked. Lin Xian said, I'm going to the Rain Clan to settle some grudges. That place is not peaceful recently. Be careful. Don't worry, senior brother. I'll be careful. Alright, I'm not worried about your strength. Fu Hongya said, if you encounter anything outside, just tell the Saint City. The disciples of Wushuang City will not be bullied outside. These words were spoken in a domineering manner. Of course, they also knew that Fu Hongya had the right to say that. Peerless City was the Saint City and could definitely protect them. Don't worry, if senior brother is in danger, I will definitely go to the Holy City. You brat, I thought that I would be able to give junior sister Shen an explanation when I return this time around. But now it seems like I'll have to make junior sister Shen wait for a while. Chiu. Lin Xian sighed in his heart. He hadn't seen him for a long time. Fu Hongya said, of course it's junior martial sister Shen. She's very worried about your safety, and this time she's even clamoring to buy it. Senior brother Fu, help me tell Chiu or to wait patiently. I'm not in any danger. Don't worry, I'll help you pass the message. Fu Hongya nodded. Then he said, Junior brother, I don't know how long you'll be outside, so I'll tell you in advance. In 3 years, you must return to the Holy City. If you can't, then go to planet Tianming by yourself. Remember, you must go. The destined star only opens once every 500 years. If you miss this opportunity, you'll have to wait another 500 years. Destined star? What was that place? Was it important? Lin Xian was surprised. It was very important. Fu Hongya's expression was solemn. It could be said that it was another training ground. The treasures inside were far beyond imagination. More importantly, he would be able to find his destiny there. This was related to his future path of martial arts. Especially those who wanted to walk the path of Great Emperor. They would all go there. It was so important. Lin Xian was shocked. Would senior brother also go there? Fu Hongya shook his head. I've already gone there last time, so I don't need to go again. I've already found my destiny. Alright, senior brother, I know. I'll definitely go to planet Tianming. After a few more days, Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon bid farewell to Fu Hongya and left the spirit ship. They took the Black Earth and changed their direction. They didn't return to Wushuang City, but to the Rain Clan. Lin Xian wanted to see the destruction of the Rain Clan with his own eyes. At this moment, the Rain Clan's situation was really terrible. It could be said that the slightest sound and the atmosphere was very tense, because a war could break out at any time. In Planet Dual Rain, other than the Rain Clan's people, the other warriors had already retreated. However, they didn't go too far. Instead, they built a city in the nearby star field. There were a total of 9 huge cities. These were all space cities. Some of them were built very early, and there were countless experts and families in them. Each space city had its own name. Of course, later people found it troublesome, so they gave it a number according to the year it was built. The earlier it was called Space City Number 1, and the later it was called the bigger the number. There were a total of 9 space cities, from Space City Number 1 to Space City Number 9. Lin Xian and the others arrived at Space City Number 7. Other than not being built on land, there was no difference between a space city and a huge city in other worlds. Moreover, in a space city, one could look up at the starry sky and feel the vastness of the universe. It could be said that it was a great spectacle. After Lin Xian arrived at Space City Number 7, he found that there were people talking about him. However, most of them were talking about the Rain Clan and the Fiend Palace. It seemed that the battle here was the most important. Lin Xian found out that the Rain Clan's situation wasn't good. Although they had joined hands with the Spirit Sealing Star to resist the Fiend Palace, they were unable to escape. However, he still couldn't escape the fate of being suppressed. Moreover, half a year ago, the Rain Clan's sudden sneak attack had thoroughly infuriated the Fiend Palace. This time a large number of experts would come. At that time, it would be a battle to the death. Lin Xian and the Dark Red Dragon were in disguise. Otherwise, if someone recognized them, there would be a great disturbance. The two of them stayed in Space City Number 7, waiting for the final battle. On this day, when they were strolling in space and watching the starry sky, a flood suddenly erupted on the street. Countless people screamed and dodged one after another. In the distance, a black torrent was rushing over. It was one black tiger after another. They were baring their fangs and brandishing their claws. Their bodies were huge, and their killing intent was overflowing. On the back of the black tiger, there were figures sitting one after another. They wore black armor and held swords and spears in their hands. Their killing intent was awe-inspiring. They were simply like gods and demons, rampaging through everything. Anyone who tried to block them was killed with a single slash. Everyone dodged far away. Those who didn't manage to dodge in time were killed on the spot. In the blink of an eye, 5 people were killed on the spot. Their blood dyed the void red. For a time, only Lin Xian and the Dark Red Dragon were left on the street. Damn, why aren't there many of them? Do they want to die? They're probably too hotheads. Don't worry about them. There were also some people who came to watch the show. These were demon generals of the Mad Demon Barracks. If they didn't dodge, they would die. As expected, the group of experts riding the black tigers didn't make way for Lin Xian and the Dark Red Dragon. One of them roared and stabbed out with the spear in his hand. It carried an extremely terrifying killing intent and overflowing laws. Chapter 3773. Lin Xian and the other two stopped, turned their heads and frowned. They had to die just because they didn't make way for the other party? These people were really arrogant. However, could the other party kill them? Lin Xian snorted coldly. He reached out his big hand, grabbed the black spear, and broke it in half. The dark red divine dragon directly smashed the black armored powerhouse into pieces with a slap. Boom. A sonorous sound was heard, and a bloody mist filled the air. Everyone screamed, and the tiger's roar resounded through the sky. At this moment, everyone was stunned. The other party actually killed a demon general. Who were they? How could they be so audacious? Moreover, the strength of these two people was also very strong. Everyone was stunned. Those powerful people and Black Tiger also stopped one after another. Every one of them had an unfriendly expression. How dare they kill our people? Kill them. Many people drew their swords and sabers, and their killing intent was shocking. The entire space city shook. The leader of the group, a mighty man, said, "Military orders must be obeyed. Time is almost up. We can't delay any longer. Let's seal them with the demon sealing seal first. It won't be too late to come back and kill them after our mission is completed." As he said that, he roared and led his team into the sky. In the team, one of them took out a black flag and kept waving it, turning into endless laws. They swept towards Lin Xian and the Crimson Divine Dragon. Then they formed two gigantic seals that enveloped them. "Humph, how dare you provoke us? Just wait for your death." That person also turned around and left. Soon, the people of the Demon Sealing Squad disappeared from the 7th Space City. Everyone looked at Lin Xian and the dark red dragon as if they were dead. They shook their heads, sighed, and prepared to leave. Lin Xian and the dark red dragon frowned. They dared to seal them and come back to kill them? These people were really bold. Humph, it's just a seal. Do you think it can trap me? The dark red divine dragon let out a dragon roar and shattered the seal. On the other side, countless cracks appeared on the seal on Lin Xian's body. Then, like glass, it shattered all over the ground. The two of them walked out of the seal in an instant. How could this be? The surrounding people were initially disdainful, but when they saw this scene, they were all dumbfounded. This was the seal of the demon sealing camp. How powerful was it? How did he get out? Could it be that these two people were very powerful? Lin Xian asked a passerby. Brother, may I ask who you were just now? That pedestrian was also a saint. Looking at Lin Xian, he was trembling a little. He braced himself and spoke. Don't you know? Who were the members of the demon sealing camp? The demon sealing battalion was a powerful troop on Spirit Sealing Planet. They were here to collect resources. Because the Sealing Spirit Star and the Rain Clan had joined hands to fight against the Fiend Palace, they would plunder resources from the nearby space cities to prepare for the battle. The other families were very cooperative, but the Ghostwood family of the fifth space city had resisted. In fact, there were even people from the clan who had attacked and injured people from the demon sealing camp. Therefore, this time, the demon sealing camp was mobilized to besiege the Ghostwood family. The Ghostwood family of the fifth space city? Lin Xian nodded and looked into the distance. He said, Ruffian Long, let's go. The two of them rushed over in a flash. Since these people wanted to kill him, there was no need to go through so much trouble. The two of them could kill their way over. The Ghostwood family of the fifth space city. At this moment, the members of the Ghostwood family were extremely frightened. They didn't expect that the demon sealing camp would be mobilized to deal with them. What about the family head? Were they really going to give everything to them? They weren't willing. The members of the Ghostwood family gnashed their teeth. Because this time, the other party was plundering their resources. They were even plundering a section of the Ghostwood willow left behind by their old ancestor. Not only that, they were even asked to prepare 10 young girls for sacrifice. At first, they didn't agree because that section of the Ghostwood willow was extremely precious. Even they were unwilling to use it. Normally, they would worship it as if it was their ancestor. Now that it was going to be taken away by the other party, how could they be willing? However, after several confrontations, they were in despair. Because the demon sealing camp was too powerful, and this was only the demon sealing camp. Behind the demon sealing camp stood the spirit sealing star. How could their clan possibly contend against such a colossus? Therefore, they were in despair. They were prepared to compromise. 10 young boys and girls were already prepared. All the resources they needed were also present. They were also prepared to hand over the Ghostwood willow. There were even 2 men who were imprisoned by them. These 2 were the ones who fought against the demon generals before. Of course, there were 3 of them in total. One of them had escaped. However, they couldn't care less. They decided to sell these people in exchange for the safety of their family. Boom. Boom. The earth trembled. A murderous aura filled the air, and roars sounded. The members of the Ghostwood family were extremely nervous. They knew that the demon sealing camp was coming. As expected, the people of the fifth space city were also in an uproar. Countless black tigers descended from the sky, carrying powerful demon generals. They charged toward the members of the Ghostwood family. In an instant, the Ghostwood family was surrounded. These people were filled with murderous aura, but they didn't move. It seemed like they were waiting for a signal. After a while, another black tiger appeared in the sky. This black tiger was 300 meters long. It was huge. A figure stood on top of it. It was a man in black armor. His armor was even more majestic and extraordinary. Greetings to the Demon Flame General. Below, the people of the Demon Sealing Camp all got off their black tigers and bowed respectfully. Their loud voices pierced the sky. The people of the fifth space city were in an uproar. Could the Demon Flame General be the famous genius Demon Flame from Spirit Sealing Star? Chang Tianya, he actually came in person. It was rumored that not only was he extremely talented and powerful, but he also controlled the Demon Sealing Camp. It could be said that he had great authority. Such a person actually came in person. Above, the tall man nodded slightly. He looked at the villa below and the corner of his mouth curled up into a cold smile. It was time to begin. Yes. The leading demon general heard the order and nodded. Then he waved his hand. Attack. As his voice fell, the surrounding demon generals emitted a powerful aura. At the same time, the black tigers under their feet kept roaring. A black energy spread in all directions. The entire Ghostwood family was severely damaged. The defensive formation was torn apart in an instant. The earth cracked and the void shattered. It was a scene of apocalypse. Inside, the voice of the Ghostwood family's patriarch came out. Don't attack. We surrender. We are willing to offer the Black Ghost Willow. Very good. Above, Demon Flame heard this and a smile appeared on his face. The demon general below waved his hand and stopped the attack. Instantly, all the demon generals stopped attacking. Their eyes flickered as they looked forward. In the ruins ahead, the members of the Ghostwood family all walked out. Chapter 3774. The Ghostwood family is willing to surrender and hand over all our resources. Please spare our lives, young Master Devil Flame. As soon as he said that, the onlookers were in an uproar. The Ghostwood family actually bowed their heads. The Ghostwood family was an overlord in the space city. Even so, they still had to bow their heads. One could imagine how powerful young Master Devil Flame and the demon sealing camp were. Young Master Devil Flame descended from above with a cold smile on his face. You should have done this earlier. You dared to resist and kill my demon generals. I have to say that you Ghostwood family are really daring. As soon as he said that, the people of the Ghostwood family trembled and broke out in cold sweat. The family leader's face changed drastically. He said, Don't worry, young master. We've already captured the 2 people who killed the demon generals. Men, bring them out. As soon as the family leader said that, 2 young men were brought out. Kneel down. They held the 2 young men down. The 2 young men were surrounded by law vines that bound their bodies. They couldn't break free at all. Young Master Devil Flame can do whatever he wants with these 2. We won't interfere. At the same time, he waved his hand and 10 young boys and girls were quickly brought out. The 10 boys and girls were huddled together with fear on their faces. They knew that their fates were going to be very miserable. The 10 young boys and girls were ready. The family leader of the Ghostwood family took out 5 storage rings and handed them over respectfully. The resources are inside. Young master, please take a look. Then he took out a wooden box. The box was as long as a book. It was completely black. When it was opened, it was a branch. The black branch had countless strange Tao patterns on it. It was formed by the intertwining of the great Tao. Black Ghost Lu Mu. Young Master Devil Flame narrowed his eyes and a smile appeared on his face. Very good. He put away the storage rings and the Black Ghost Lu Mu. Then he looked at the 2 young men kneeling on the ground. You dare to kill my demon generals? You're courting death. Men torture them well. But if you kill someone else, it'll torture them for hundreds of years. Behind him, the demon generals walked out. One of them grinned and stretched out a hand. It was a pitch-black hand. It instantly slapped the young man. Immediately, the young man's body began to rot. His wounds were extremely miserable. Another demon general poured out a worm from a black bottle. Those were poisonous bugs. They were extremely terrifying. They spread through the wounds and started to eat the young man. The miserable shriek of the young man made everyone's scalp go numb. Ah! The young man screamed and rolled on the ground. Big Brother and the other young man. If you let us. The young man. However, the members of the Ghostwood family all lowered their heads. Not a single person made a sound. It was as if this matter had nothing to do with them. Damn it, I'll fight it out with you. Right at this moment, another voice came from afar. A man wielding a long spear charged over. He charged towards young Master Devil Flame. Young Master Devil Flame sneered and waved his hand. Instantly, the area was enveloped and shattered the long spear. That man was also sent flying to the ground. How dare you sneak attack our young master? Hey! Why are you here, third brother? Hurry up and run. Big brother, second brother, I won't leave you behind. If you want to die, we'll die together. Oh, you're really affectionate. But don't worry, I'll torture you. Young Master Devil Flame sneered. Damn it, I hate you. The young man who had just arrived was subdued. He looked at the Ghostwood family and roared. Are you going to abandon your people like this? What's the point of living then? Shut up. The elder of the Ghostwood family shouted angrily. It's all your fault that our family is in such a predicament. Do you know what you've done? Hurry up and kowtow to young Master Devil Flame and apologize. It's because of you that we're in trouble. Not only did these people not save us, but they even added insult to injury. The 3 youths were in despair, and so were the 10 virgins. They knew that their family had completely abandoned them. The demon generals smiled sinisterly. Young Master Devil Flame crossed his arms. Interesting. I like to torture people. Aren't they brothers very affectionate? Very well. Let's watch as our brothers are tortured to the point where they're better off dead. A demon general walked out with a black whip in his hand. He was about to start beating them. However, at this moment, a voice came from afar. You guys are really here. Who is it? Everyone was stunned. Are they here for the Ghostwood family, or the demon sealing camp? However, no matter who they were looking for, they dared to disturb young Master Devil Flame. Weren't they courting death? As expected, young Master Devil Flame frowned slightly. The expressions of the demon generals beside him changed. They instantly turned their heads. Hurry up and find out who it is. Who dares to meddle in our business? These people looked in all directions. Soon they saw 2 figures walking over from afar. It's them. These demon generals were stunned. The people in the surrounding space city also saw them. They were 2 young men. They were puzzled. Who are these 2? They look so young. What are they doing here? The pupils of those demon generals shrank. How is this possible? How did you 2 come out? Weren't you sealed by us? They were really stunned. One had to know that an ordinary sage wouldn't be able to break out of their seal. How did the other party come out? It's just a seal. What's there to be surprised about? Lin Xian sneered. Didn't you say you wanted to kill me? There's no need to go through so much trouble. Now that I'm here, let's see how you're going to kill me. The 2 people who came were Lin Xian and the Dark Red Dragon. The people in the surrounding Too Fast City were the milk of the organization. Heavens, he's going against the demon sealing camp? No way. Are these 2 people courting death? No matter how strong they are, how can they fight against the entire demon sealing camp? And now young Master Devil Flame is here too. What's going on? Young Master Devil Flame frowned. Who dares to provoke me? The demon general beside him immediately knelt on one knee. Young Master, please forgive us. We met a reckless person on the way and sealed him. Well, kill him after the matter here is settled. He didn't expect the other party to break out of the seal and chase him here. Oh, is there such a reckless person? Young Master Devil Flame's interest was piqued. He turned his head and looked at Lin Xian and the Dark Red Dragon. Interesting. He temporarily stopped torturing the 3 young men. Instead, he looked at Lin Xian and the Dark Red Dragon. Because he felt that these 2 people could give him greater pleasure. The demon general beside him said, Young Master, don't worry. We'll kill them now. We won't let them disturb you. No need. Young Master Devil Flame waved his hand. There's no need for you to do anything. Aren't there others? As he spoke, he glanced at the Ghostwood clan. Didn't your Ghostwood clan want to join me? Very well, I'll give you every chance. Show me the heads of these 2 people. As a military order, I'll accept you. Otherwise, you can avoid death, but you can't escape punishment. Chapter 3775. The Ghostwood clan's people trembled. They couldn't escape punishment. With young Master Devil Flame's methods, torturing them for hundreds of years and making them wish they were dead was a simple matter. They didn't want to live such a life, so the Ghostwood clan's people hurriedly said, Don't worry, young master. We'll kill those 2 now. Hurry up. The Ghostwood clan's patriarch shouted angrily. Immediately 2 figures walked out. They were 2 middle-aged men who were over 1,000 years old. Their auras were very powerful. After they walked out, they stared at Lin Xian and the Dark Red Dragon. You 2 don't know what's good for you. How dare you offend young Master Devil Flame? Who are you? Are you from the demon sealing camp? Lin Xian asked with a frown. The two middle-aged men snorted coldly. We're from the Ghostwood clan, and now we're under young Master Devil Flame's tutelage. If you dare to go against young Master Devil Flame, you're going against our Ghostwood clan. TSK, what did I think you were? So you're lackeys. The dark red dragon said disdainfully. Do you think we didn't see what happened before? We heard it from hundreds of thousands of miles away. Your Ghostwood clan is so cowardly that you betrayed your own people to survive. Do you have the face to live in this world? Hurry up and go to hell. The dark red dragon's face was full of disdain. Lin Xian's face was also full of disdain. Such a clan was simply despicable. Now they were being used as tools and wanted to kill them? Such people really didn't need to live in this world. You're courting death. The two experts were completely enraged. With that, they roared, and terrifying blades appeared in their hands. They slashed forward. Boom. Blade light flashed and law filled the air. This slash could split heaven and earth. And it enveloped Lin Xian and the dark red dragon. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Lin Xian snorted coldly and grabbed forward. On the other side, the dark red dragon also grabbed forward. Boom. Boom. The two blades were shattered, and the law in the sky was torn apart. The two middle-aged men's bodies were torn apart and instantly exploded. Their souls were instantly killed. This scene shocked everyone. Damn it, how is this possible? How can these two be so strong? The corners of the Ghostwood clan's mouths twitched. Their faces were filled with shock. Even the demon generals were stunned. They knew that the other party had some strength, but the other party's strength was beyond their imagination. The people of Space City were equally shocked. It seemed like these were two young geniuses. However, there were also people who frowned. The two of them didn't know the difference between life and death. Did they think that just because they had a bit of strength and talent, they could contend against the Devil Flame young noble? Could he contend against so many demon generals? That's right. No matter how strong they were, it would be difficult for two fists to fight against four hands. With several dozen demon generals attacking together, the other party would definitely be hard-pressed to escape. Those demon generals were enraged. They wanted to attack, but without young noble Devil Flame's order, they didn't dare to. Young Master Mo Yin watched the scene with an expressionless face. He looked at the Ghostwood clan and said indifferently, "Your Ghostwood clan is pitifully weak. You can't even kill two youngsters. Then what do I need you for?" When he finished speaking, his voice was filled with ruthlessness and coldness. "Young master, please spare my life. We will kill him now." The face of the Ghostwood clan's patriarch turned extremely ugly. "Go and kill them," he said to the two elders. This time, it was the two sage elders who stepped forward. They were stronger than the middle-aged man, and had rich combat experience. They should be able to kill the other party this time, right? You two brats, prepare to die. The two minor saints walked out with bloodshot eyes. They had to kill the other party. Lin Xian was also furious. They didn't know what was good for them. They kept trying to kill us. Do they really think that I'm that easy to kill? With a single punch, he instantly blasted the two elders apart. At the same time, he reached out his hand and grabbed their souls. He killed them with his gaze. In just a blink of an eye, the two powerful elders were killed. This scene sent chills down everyone's spine. The people of the Ghostwood clan almost peed in their pants. This method was too strong. The dark red divine dragon roared and spat out a terrifying dragon flame that enveloped many people of the Ghostwood clan. Those people were hovering between life and death. Humph, do you really think that I'm that easy to bully? Do you want to try again? Powerful, incomparably powerful. Everyone was stunned. Where the hell did these two young geniuses come from? Are they really that powerful? The people of the Ghostwood clan no longer dared to attack. The Devil Flame young master's face darkened. Looks like I'll have to do it myself. Well, I've been bored recently. I'll take you two as my prey. You two are quite strong. I'll give you a chance. Kneel down and apologize to me. Then become my slaves and I'll allow you to join the demon sealing camp. Become a demon general. From now on, you'll recognize me as your master and serve me. You two can live. What do you think? Just you? The dark red divine dragon was disdainful. I don't even want you as my pet. How dare you ask me to kneel down? Do you know that you're playing with fire? Kid, believe it or not, I'll kill you with a slap. The dark red divine dragon was completely enraged. Lin Xian sneered. Trash, like you don't have the right to talk to us. Everyone was stunned. Why did they feel that these two were more arrogant than young Master Devil Flame? Young Master Devil Flame was so angry that he vomited blood. Damn it, you're courting death. He roared and waved his sleeves. Instantly, his sleeves covered the sky. This was called the demonic cloud sleeve. It was extremely terrifying. The sleeve could cover heaven and earth and refine everything. This was a type of ultimate divine ability. In an instant, it covered Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon. Then the two of them were completely absorbed. Young Master Devil Flame sneered. Stupid idiots. The surrounding demon generals laughed. Of course. No matter how strong these two were, how could they be compared to young Master Devil Flame? The people of the Ghostwood clan were even more shocked when they saw this scene. These two powerful young geniuses were instantly subdued by young Master Devil Flame. This method was truly shocking. Therefore, in the next moment, they immediately knelt on the ground and kowtowed. Young Master Devil Flame ruled the universe for thousands of years. Ha ha ha. Young Master Devil Flame laughed. Go against me. Cultivate for another 500 years. Boom. Suddenly, his sleeves opened. The violent energy made him vomit blood and fly backward. Two figures rushed out. One of them grabbed one of his arms. Crack crack. They directly pulled both of his arms off. What demonic cloud sleeve? You want to trap us with a broken sleeve? The dark red divine dragon was disdainful. Lin Xian sneered. You dare to call yourself a genius with such a technique? You're so weak. How is this possible? The demon general's eyes almost popped out. Their young master. He was injured. The people of the Ghostwood clan kneeling on the ground were even more dumbfounded. They almost fainted. The surrounding martial artists exclaimed. Young Master Devil Flame was injured. The demonic cloud sleeve was broken. Chapter 3776. Damn it, how dare you hurt me? I'll tear you into pieces. Kill him. Young Master Demonic Face retreated as he regrew his arms. He roared crazily. Suddenly, the eyes of the 49 demon generals turned red. Kill. With a roar, they drew their swords and sabers and charged toward Lin Xian and the dark red dragon. Oh no. The people of the Ghostwood family retreated in fear. The onlookers in the distance also sighed. It's over. Those two young men are really in danger. Yes, no matter how powerful they were, the 49 demon generals could wipe out an entire world if they joined forces. Who could stop them? That was indeed the case. The strength of the demon sealing camp was achieved through bloodshed. There was once a world that refused to submit. In the end, the 49 demon generals attacked and wiped out that world, turning it into a living hell. From then on, no one dared to go against the demon sealing camp. Now, it would be a piece of cake for the demon generals who had swept across the world to kill those two young men. Ruffian Dragon, kill them all. Don't leave a single one alive. Lin Xian said. The laws on his body condensed, forming a sword of laws that slashed in all directions. On the other side, the dark red dragon also said. He had been unable to hold back for a long time. Although he did not transform into his true form, his every move was filled with great power. He was like a human-shaped Tyrannosaurus, rampaging around. Boom. One of the demon generals was very fast. In an instant, he arrived in front of Lin Xian. The armor on his body shone brightly, and the long spear in his hand was incomparably monstrous. However, before the long spear could stab down, his body was split into two halves. Lin Xian's sword fell and killed the other party. Then he opened and closed, and all the demon generals who approached him were swept away in all directions. They were either torn into pieces or split in half. In short, he killed a demon general with one strike. No one could survive. On the other side, the dark red dragon was even more terrifying. His palm was even more terrifying than the claws of the Tyrannosaurus. With one strike, he turned someone into a mist of blood. Impossible. How could they be so strong? A demon general's face was full of fear. He was the demon general who had sealed the two of them earlier. He had looked down on them previously, thinking that they could easily kill them. In fact, they had even decided to properly torture him to death. But now the other party was like a killing god. Killing them was no different from killing ants. Damn it, who are you? Who the hell are you? The leader of the other demon generals also roared crazily. Wasn't this too terrifying? They had never seen a young man from any clan that was so strong. They had kicked an iron plate this time. Just like that, the two of them crushed the 49 demon generals mercilessly. In the blink of an eye, all 49 demon generals were killed by them. The corpse fell to the ground, and saint blood surged in the air, making whistling sounds. After all, this was the blood of the devil saint. How terrifying was that? There was no way the heavens and earth would be able to withstand it. The people in the surrounding space city were stunned. They were dead. 49 demon generals had turned into ashes in the blink of an eye. The people of the Ghostwood clan fainted from fright. Before this, they dared to fight with such an existence? This was simply courting death. In fact, even young Master Devil Flame was stunned, and stood there in a daze. Lin Xian kept his sword of law. The dark red divine dragon was disdainful. What kind of demon generals are they? They're pitifully weak. They're not much stronger than ants. How dare you be so arrogant in front of us? Now it's your turn. Lin Xian looked at young Master Devil Flame. Young Master Devil Flame's body trembled. The others were also in an uproar. Are they going to fight young Master Devil Flame? Young Master Devil Flame screamed in horror. You can't fight with me. Do you know who I am? I'm a prince of the Matian Empire. You're dead if you dare to touch me. My father is the chaotic heaven demon king. If you dare to touch me, my father will never let you go. What? Young Master Devil Flame had such an identity? Everyone was in an uproar. The chaotic heaven demon king was an extremely terrifying expert in the spirit sealing star. He was a true minor saint with monstrous strength. If young Master Devil Flame was killed, the chaotic heaven demon king would never let him go. After saying that, young Master Devil Flame looked up to the sky and laughed. Haha, kid, are you afraid now? Let me go now and apologize to me. Otherwise, when my father comes, none of you will be able to live. Live your ass. The dark red divine dragon sent a kick out. Instantly, young Master Devil Flame spurted out blood and flew backward. Half of his body was smashed. Lin Xian followed up and stomped his head into the mud. You still dare to threaten us? It seems like you don't know the truth. No. Damn it. How dare you treat me like this? Young Master Devil Flame screamed crazily. His mouth was full of mud. At this moment, he couldn't care less. My father is the chaotic heaven demon king. He's a minor saint. Do you know what a minor saint is? He was simply going crazy. Were these two really not afraid of anything? Humph, so what if you're a minor saint? It's not like I haven't killed one before. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He exerted force with his foot, and the other party's head was split open. Young Master Devil Flame almost fainted. The surrounding people were also terrified. These two were too strong. They were simply peerless ruthless. Brother, I was wrong. I want to apologize to you. Let's shake hands and make peace, okay? Seeing that his threat failed, young Master Devil Flame immediately changed his strategy. He didn't want to die. He had a noble status and great talent. Countless good days were waiting for him in the future. He didn't want to be killed by these two lunatics. It was better to beg for mercy and admit defeat now. When he returned, he would definitely mobilize the Matian Empire's army to kill them. Oh, apologize and admit defeat? When Lin Xian heard this, he loosened his grip and wrapped his arms around himself. He nodded slightly. I accept your apology. Hearing this, young Master Devil Flame heaved a sigh of relief. The others also said, that's right. How dare they not give face to a minor saint? It seemed that these two weren't stupid. Perhaps they were just trying to scare young Master Devil Flame. Young Master Devil Flame also heaved a sigh of relief. Well, what do you want? Cultivation methods, secret manuals, treasures, beauties, I can get them all for you. Although he was flattering them, he was laughing coldly in his heart. Damn it, just you wait. When I return to the spirit sealing star, I will definitely bring people to kill you. We don't want anything. We just want you to apologize with your death. Hurry up and do it. Lin Xian said indifferently. His words were like a clap of thunder, stunning everyone. Apologize with his death? Isn't that the same as killing them? Oh heavens, they thought that these two were afraid. Who would have thought that they were teasing young Master Devil Flame? Young Master Devil Flame also reacted. He was so angry that his body trembled. Damn it, how dare you trick me? What's the difference between committing suicide and being killed? It's even more humiliating. We're just teasing you. What can you do? Dark Flood Shenlong sneered. Chapter 3777. Lin Xian also said, Aren't you high and mighty? Don't you like to control the life and death of others? Why do you feel like this now? Do you know how it feels? Damn it. Young Master Devil Flame roared. Suddenly he opened his mouth and spat out a black sword toward Lin Xian. At the same time he turned around and ran. At this moment his bloodline was burning. His speed was extremely fast. He tore through the void and disappeared. Clang. Lin Xian used 2 fingers to pinch the flying sword. Then he exerted force in his palm and crushed the flying sword into scrap metal. He threw it on the ground. On the other side, the dark red dragon instantly turned into a stream of light and rushed out. When he returned, he brought young Master Devil Flame back. Young Master Devil Flame had gone crazy. How was this possible? He suddenly launched a sneak attack, but he didn't hurt him. Moreover, he was caught by the other party. Little thing, you don't know what's good for you. How dare you plot against us? The dark red dragon attacked and used all kinds of dirty tricks to beat young Master Devil Flame into a miserable state. In the end, Lin Xian chopped off his head and destroyed his soul. The headless body fell down. Young Master Devil Flame's soul was destroyed. Seeing if there were any good things, the dark red dragon went forward and directly took the storage ring. Then he beamed with joy. Damn, so many good things. Young Master Devil Flame actually had more than 10 storage rings in his hand. Each of them contained shocking treasures. It seemed that these were the treasures that he had plundered from many space cities and families. At this moment, they were all in young Master Devil Flame's hands. Haha, I'm rich. The dark red dragon didn't open his eyes and laugh. Lin Xian was also surprised. He found a box from within. It was quite extraordinary, and even Black Mountain was alarmed. Black Mountain said, Damn kid, let me see what this is. He rushed out and grabbed the box. After opening it, he laughed loudly. Black Ghost Willow, there's actually such a thing. Great, this thing is useful to me. I'll take it. With that, he went back into the black earth again. Seeing this, the people of the Ghostwood family opened their mouths. They wanted to say something, but in the end, they didn't dare to. Although the Black Ghost Willow tree was theirs, did they dare to take it now? Furthermore, they had obeyed young Master Demon Face's orders to kill the other party. Would the other party take revenge on them now? Moreover, even if he didn't kill them, they probably wouldn't be able to survive. Young Noble Devil Flame had died in their home. What would the Devil Sky Empire think? Would the people of the Heaven Mixing Prefecture spare them? Any random expert would be able to kill them in an instant, right? The surrounding people were also completely stupefied. Young Master Devil Flame had actually died. His body and soul had been completely destroyed. They knew that a major earthquake was coming. The chaotic Heaven Prefecture would never spare them. Therefore, the two of them had better run away. However, to their surprise, the other party did not run away. Lin Xian and Li Mu sat down cross-legged and began to check the treasures in their storage rings. Haha, what a great harvest! I heard that the person who died had an extraordinary identity. Someone will come for revenge. Kid, why don't we wait for the rabbit to come out of the tree stump? I have the same idea. After all, they are from the spirit ceiling star. They are enemies. There is no need to hold back. Lin Xian nodded. The others were stunned. What were the two of them doing? Were they waiting for the chaotic Heaven Demon King to come personally? They were all crazy. The people of the Ghostwood family were even more so. They knelt there, not knowing what to do. As for the 3 young people, they broke free from their shackles. They and the 10 boys and girls came to the side of Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon. They knelt on the ground and respectfully kowtowed 3 times. "Thank you for saving our lives." The dark red divine dragon glanced at them and waved his hand, saying, "Don't thank us. We didn't plan to save you. We just came to kill these demon generals for revenge. I know that we are as insignificant as dust in the eyes of our benefactor. However, our benefactor's careless action has saved us. We will definitely repay you." Lin Xian said, "Get up. You are kind people. It's just that the people of the Mad Demon Camp are too cruel. Kill them this time and you won't be in any danger in the future. Benefactor, you'd better leave quickly." Young Master Devil Flame was from the younger generation. He was from the Chaotic Heaven Manor, and his father was a small saint. If the news spread, the Chaotic Heaven Manor would definitely not let this go. "Yes, Benefactor, the Devil Sky Empire is also very powerful." These people began to persuade him. Lin Xian said, "It's fine. I'm waiting for them to come. Because I don't have enough resources, I'll take some more." The 3 of them were dumbfounded. They didn't know what to say. They could only retreat to the distance and wait quietly. If their benefactor was really in danger, they would sacrifice their lives to protect him. News of what had happened here quickly spread. The people of the Spirit Ceiling Star knew. The people of the Celestial Pure Heaven Mansion learned of this, and soon sent a large army over. Countless experts filled the air. On the black clouds, there were countless figures that looked like fiend gods. At the front was a middle-aged man. He walked with majestic steps and a domineering aura. Everyone's scalp went numb. Heavens, the Chaotic Heaven Demon King, he actually came in person. Everyone was stunned. They originally thought that the Chaotic Heaven Manor would send a few experts here. But they didn't expect that a small saint would come in person. Beside the Chaotic Heaven Demon King stood an old man who had also reached the small saint realm. Not only that, there were countless saints behind him, and many of them were at the 5th heaven. In the distance, there were countless armies fighting, bringing up monstrous waves of air. The entire sky had been completely covered by it. The people of Sky City trembled and swallowed their saliva. They knew that Lin Xian and Lin Xian were probably finished. The people of the Ghostwood family knelt on the ground, not daring to raise their heads. The calmest ones were Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon. They looked up and narrowed their eyes. The dark red divine dragon laughed. "Hee hee, the fat sheep is here again." Whitey also jumped out and looked at the sky, drooling. Obviously, it also knew that there would be a lot of natural treasures and spiritual fruits in its mouth. The Chaotic Heaven Demon King didn't say anything after coming. But his face was gloomy. After all, one of his sons had died. How could he be happy? A general next to him shouted angrily and descended from the sky. He was here to find the body of young Master Demonic Face. Soon he found it. He swooped down, wanting to bring the body of young Master Demonic Flame back. But at this time, Lin Xian made his move. A big hand grabbed at the general. The big hand was golden and had a dazzling aura. It was like the hand of the god of war, dazzling and dazzling. The general roared angrily, "Get lost." He shouted angrily, and light burst out from his body. He was a 5th heaven saint, and his strength was absolutely unimaginable. Originally, he wanted to bring back the body of young Master Demonic Flame first, and then deal with Lin Xian and Lin Xian. However, he didn't expect that the 2 of them would be so reckless and dare to take the initiative to attack him. He shouted angrily and threw out a punch. It carried a monstrous demonic aura and attacked the big golden hand. Die. Boom. Boom. The 2 collided, and the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The big golden hand was so powerful that it shattered the terrifying demonic shadow. Not only that, half of the general's body was also blown up, and he let out a miserable roar. Lin Xian raised his hand, and a sword flew out, cutting the general in half. At the same time, the sword chi kept destroying the general's soul. Soon, the general's astral soul was destroyed. All of this happened so quickly that no one could react. The people of the Chaotic Heaven Manor were stunned. One of their 5th heaven powerhouses was dead? That was too unbelievable. They originally wanted to bring back the body, but they didn't expect that there would be an extra body for no reason. How dare you kill someone from the Chaotic Heaven Manor? The people above were angry. Lin Xian sneered. You're the one who's bold. How dare you attack me? Do you know what punishment you deserve? Get down here, kowtow, and admit your mistake. Chapter 3778. Lin Xian's words stunned everyone. This person actually dared to scold the Han Tian estate. Who exactly is this person? In the sky above the demonic clouds, those people were also shocked. What an arrogant attitude. Someone asked, Your Highness, do you want to investigate his identity? Heavenly King Han snorted coldly. There was no need to investigate. No matter who he was, since he dared to kill my son, I will tear him into pieces. Yes, I know. The old man nodded and then looked at a general. Go down and bring his head up. Be careful. This kid is very powerful. Elder and Your Highness, don't worry. I will definitely kill him. That general rushed down like a dragon coming into being. He shattered the sky. His speed was extremely fast. In an instant he arrived in front of Lin Xian. Kid, go to hell. The expert waved his arm and clawed down. Black demonic chi filled the sky with destructive power. The void around Lin Xian shattered in an instant. Countless black holes appeared in the void. This general is at the middle stage of the fifth heaven, right? Many people screamed. It was even more terrifying than the previous one. Humph. Lin Xian snorted coldly and took out the Great Destruction Spear. It also exuded a terrifying demonic chi. The Great Destruction Spear turned into a black dragon. Together with the power of the Great Dragon Sword Soul, it pierced in all directions. In an instant, it pierced through the opponent's body. Not only that, the opponent's body shattered into pieces. The general screamed and quickly retreated. Lin Xian went up and punched more than 3,000 times in a row. Once again, the opponent's body was turned into a bloody mist. Miserable screams and furious roars shook the 9 heavens. The general went crazy. Damn it. Impossible. In the sky, the people of the Han Tian estate were also stunned. Damn it. Go and support him. 2 generals went down to support him. However, at this moment, Lin Xian held the Great Destruction Spear and activated the Great Dragon Sword Soul. Together with the Peerless Secret Technique, his combat strength increased by 5 times. With one strike, he killed the opponent completely. The opponent's body shattered into pieces. His soul was destroyed and he fell to the ground. The earth sank, unable to withstand the saint's corpse at all. Millions of li of the earth collapsed, and millions of li of the void were destroyed. At this moment, it was as if the world had been destroyed. In the sky, the 2 powerhouses who were coming to help were stunned. Their eyes were filled with shock. He was dead. A peerless general had died just like that. That was an expert in the middle stage of the 5th heavenly layer. Even if the 2 of them joined hands, they might not be able to kill the other party. Furthermore, with his level of cultivation, even if he couldn't win, he still had countless ways to escape. However, that person didn't even have the chance to escape. He was mercilessly killed just like that. Who was this young man? They stood there in a daze, their expressions extremely ugly. Up above, the heaven-battering king's expression finally changed. Who are you? He said in a deep voice. Why are you asking me who I am now? Lin Xian sneered. Weren't you very arrogant before? You want to kill me regardless of who I am? What? You don't dare to continue now? The heaven-battering heavenly king's face was gloomy. He didn't expect that the man had heard what he said to his subordinates. Boy, do you know who you're talking to? Do you know what kind of existence you're facing? The heaven-battering heavenly king's voice was cold and filled with killing intent. Lin Xian's smile grew wider. Then do you know who I am? Do you know the consequences of offending me? Do you know that you're already facing a disaster? Not only you, but your entire heaven-battering manor is facing the crisis of being destroyed. How dare you be arrogant in front of me? As soon as these words came out, everyone's hair stood on end. It was really weird for a young man to threaten a little saint. However, they were also very curious about Lin Xian's identity. The old man next to him was also a little saint. He walked out and cupped his fists with a smile. He wondered which family this young man was from. Lin Xian stabbed the great spear of destruction into the ground, stood with his hands behind his back, looked up at the sky, and said loudly, I'm from Wuxia City. What? Wuxia City? He was from the sacred city. As soon as these words came out, everyone was stunned like a sudden clap of thunder. In the sky, the people of the heaven-battering manor also gasped, and their bodies trembled involuntarily. The young man was a disciple of the sacred city. Their faces were full of horror, and they wanted to kneel on the ground. The old man's expression changed dramatically, and the heaven-battering heavenly king's pupils shrank. At this moment, he didn't dare to be arrogant anymore. Even though he was a little saint and the heaven-battering heavenly king, he didn't dare to be arrogant. After all, it was the sacred city. The holy city was above everything else. Not to mention the heaven-battering manor. Even the Madman Empire was no match for it. Even the entire spirit sealing star couldn't go against the sacred city. The others were also in an uproar. No wonder Lin Xian was so confident. It turned out that he was from the sacred city, and it seemed that he was a genius of the sacred city. Such a person could really defeat everything. It turned out that the young master was from the sacred city. The smile on the little saint old man's face widened as he quickly descended. The heaven-battering heavenly king also smiled. He didn't know the young master's identity and offended him. He hoped that the young master would forgive him. The two little saints bowed and lowered their heads. One of them was the heaven-battering heavenly king. This scene made everyone feel that it was so unreal. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back. He didn't say anything, but a cold smile hung at the corner of his mouth. Weren't they very arrogant? Why didn't they continue to be arrogant? Seeing Lin Xian's indifferent expression, the heaven-battering heavenly king broke out in a cold sweat. He quickly descended, took a few steps forward, and came to Lin Xian's side. He bowed and said, "Young master, I was blind before and offended you. I hope that the young master can forgive me." A little saint bowed and apologized to a young man. It could be said that his attitude was very respectful. The eyes of the people around almost fell out of their sockets, but Lin Xian still didn't pay any attention to him. This scene made the hearts of the people of the heaven-battering manor almost jump out of their bodies. Next to him, the dark red dragon sneered. "Do you think you can get away with just an apology? You wanted to kill me before. If you can't give us something to compensate us, do you think we will let you go?" Being mocked by a young man like this? A strong killing intent rose in the heaven-battering heavenly king's heart, but he didn't dare to make a move. If he killed the people of the sacred city here, his head would be hung on a tree the next day. Yes, the young master is right. I'm stupid. I'll prepare a gift for the young master now. As he spoke, he quickly took out a few things from his storage ring. "Young master, this is a piece of divine iron from the outer star river. It took me many years to get it. This is a spiritual herb that I found after traveling to more than 10 worlds." The heaven-battering heavenly king began to introduce the treasures. Each of them made countless people's eyes turn red. Buzz. The dark red dragon snatched the storage ring with a claw. "Old man, do you want to live? Why are you so stingy? Give us all your treasures." Chapter 3779. Heavenly King Heaven-battering was heartbroken. There were so many treasures in his storage ring. How could he bear to give them away? However, when he saw Lin Xian's cold eyes, his face and heart trembled. "Forget it. I'll just grit my teeth and bear with it." Who asked him to provoke the geniuses of the sacred city? However, this was not the end. After snatching Heavenly King Heaven-battering's storage ring, the dragon snatched the storage ring of the little saint next to him. Then he said to the people brought by Heavenly King Heaven-battering in the sky, "Hand over your storage rings obediently, or I'll kill you all." Those people had no choice but to do as he said. Immediately, storage rings came to the dragon's hand one after another. The dragon's mouth was almost crooked from laughing. Although Lin Xian was expressionless, he was overjoyed in his heart. "Old man, the armor you're wearing is not bad. Your jade pendant is not bad." After taking the storage rings, the dragon set his eyes on Heavenly King's soul and the little saint. They also had a lot of treasures on them. The dragon directly snatched them. In the end, the two little saints were left with only their underwear, which was fluttering in the wind. Everyone was dumbfounded. This scene was simply unimaginable. After all, those were two little saints. Sure enough, the two little saints were trembling with anger, but they didn't make a move in the end. Are you satisfied now, young masters? Heavenly King Heaven Battering was about to cry. Lin Xian nodded slightly. Forget it. I'll spare your life this time. But next time you go against me, I'll definitely destroy both your body and soul. Heavenly King Soul really cried. He didn't dare to go against Lin Xian anymore. He wanted to leave, but Lin Xian stopped him. Wait. Heavenly King Heaven Battering Soul trembled. He turned his head and asked, Young master, is there anything else? I really don't have any treasures on me. Where are you going next? Are you going to the Spirit Sealing Star or the Rain Clan? The Rain Clan. Well, let's go together later. Lin Xian said. He didn't know why they were going to the Rain Clan. However, he didn't dare to ask. He could only quickly take 2 clothes from his subordinates and put them on. Then he stood in the distance and waited. Lin Xian turned around and stared at the House of Blackwood. The people of the Darkwood family fainted from fright. Even a minor saint had to be respectful, let alone them. Lin Xian asked. Who was the chief? Who was the core elder? I'm the patriarch of the Blackwood family. I'm the patriarch of the Blackwood family. He scrambled over. The 6 core elders also came over. Their bodies were trembling non-stop. Lin Xian raised his hand and cut off their heads. Even their souls were destroyed. Patriarch. Elder. The people of the Blackwood family fainted from fright. Were they going to start a massacre this time? They shivered. Lin Xian said. If a family was despicable and shameless, then it must be the fault of the patriarch and the core elders. I'll kill them now. I hope that the Blackwood family can turn over a new leaf. As he spoke, he looked at the 3 hot-blooded youths. The 3 of you are not bad, and your talents are also very good. From now on, the 3 of you will be the patriarch and the core elders. I hope you can lead your family to the right path. Thank you, benefactor. The 3 hot-blooded youths knelt on the ground and kowtowed. Their eyes were filled with hope. Lin Xian waved his hand. Then he turned around and walked towards the Heavenly King Hun. Let's go. They boarded the Mo Yun. The Heavenly King Hun revealed an expression that was uglier than crying. These were 2 little ancestors after all. He had no choice but to clench his teeth and leave. The rolling devil cloud left. Lin Xian and the people of Huntian Manor disappeared in the sky. As for the people of Too Fast City, they were completely stunned. Soon the news spread out, causing an uproar. Countless people were excited. The genius of the sacred city had arrived at the space city and defeated everyone. The minor saints were thrown into disarray. All kinds of news were spreading. The legends about Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon were everywhere. These 2 people were now heading towards the Rain Clan with the Heavenly King Hun. The Rain Clan occupied the Double Rain planet. There were 2 planets. One of them might be smaller than the other worlds. However, when the 2 planets were combined, they were not inferior to the other planets at all. The Rain Clan's foundation was very strong. It was really enviable that they could occupy 2 such planets. It was said that the Rain Clan also had super experts in the past. However, they declined later on. During this period, Lin Xian chatted with the Heavenly King Hun. He also learned that the Heavenly King Hun and the others were not going to the front line to fight, but to provide resources. They were logisticians. Therefore, they would not be in danger even if they went to the Rain Clan. This made Lin Xian even more satisfied. He came here to watch the Rain Clan being destroyed. Naturally, he would go deep into the Rain Clan. At this moment, he was with the Heavenly King Hun. He could watch the battle at a close distance. He wanted to properly appreciate how the Rain Clan was being destroyed one step at a time. The Rain Clan now had fewer people compared to the last time he saw them. On the vast land, formations were flickering everywhere. Obviously, they were all on alert. Only the last battle was left. Lin Xian came with the Heavenly King Hun, so he was unimpeded along the way. Soon they arrived at the camp. The Heavenly King Hun said, "Young masters, you can rest here. If you want to watch the battle, it will probably take some time. Well, stay here. You don't have to worry about us. Go do your thing." Lin Xian waved his hand. The Heavenly King Hun left. When he left the palace, his face immediately darkened. Damn! Are the geniuses of the sacred city so free? Don't they need to cultivate? How can they come here to watch the battle? Then Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon palace set up camp in this camp. About 2 months later. On this day the earth trembled, and muffled thunder sounded in the distance. It spread all over the world like a bell. The people in the heavenly King Hun's camp were all alarmed. They all went out of the camp and looked into the distance. Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon palace's eyes also lit up. It's coming. The final battle is about to begin. Sure enough, when they went out, they saw that the world had already changed. Countless gusts of wind swept across, and there were even extremely terrifying laws colliding between heaven and earth. Thunder fell one after another. In the sky, black holes appeared one after another. Those were spatial transmissions. The dark red divine dragon palace and Lin Xian were both masters of array formations. They could tell at a glance that this was a world-level transmission. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Figures in black armor walked out of the black holes one after another. They were like demons, holding sabers and swords, and emitting murderous auras. They were like demons from the demon realm, standing in the void and emitting monstrous auras. They suppressed the 9 heavens and 10 lands. The people of the demon palace had arrived. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The people of the heavenly King Hun's palace also exclaimed. There were so many people. Indeed, there were truly too many people this time around. Not only that, there were even more powerful demonic beasts appearing in the world. There was even a black bat that covered the sky for tens of thousands of miles like a dark cloud. The light between heaven and earth instantly dimmed. Chapter 3780. This was a world-level battle. Countless people would be watching it. The dark red dragon sucked in a breath of cold air. Indeed, the battle between the Demon Palace and the Rain Clan had attracted the attention of everyone in the 2-star realm. Although they weren't from the Saint City, these two forces were still extraordinary. Demon Palace. It was one of the top 3 forces on the Demon Planet. Its palace master, the Demon Overlord, stood at the peak of the Saint Venerable realm. He was in seclusion now. Once he succeeded, he would become a Saint King. This was a force second only to the Saint City. As for the Rain Clan, they were once glorious. Although they had declined, they still occupied 2 worlds. One could say that their foundation was also extraordinary. This battle was between a powerful new force and a declining old force. Naturally, it would cause a great commotion. Countless experts and worlds were watching. Even some people from the Saint City had come. They wanted to watch this rare world-exterminating battle. Heavenly King Hun had also returned to the military camp. His expression was incomparably solemn. 2 young masters, although we are at the rear and won't be affected, I'm afraid this old man won't be able to protect the 2 of you. Please don't blame me. Don't worry, we're just here to watch the battle. I don't think the Demon Palace will take action. Lin Xian nodded. The dark red divine dragon said, Old man, if even you are so scared, what kind of experts will come? Heavenly King Hun took a deep breath. This time, it was probably a world-exterminating battle. The Demon Palace had sent a Saint Venerable. It was even rumored that they had brought a Sun-class Saint weapon. At that time, if they really launched an all-out attack, the whole world would be completely destroyed. Ah! The dark red dragon sucked in a breath of cold air. This is crazy. Lin Xian was also surprised. Saint Venerables also took action? They were more terrifying than minor saints. They even had a Sun-class Saint weapon. It seemed like this was really a battle to the death. Why are you still waiting here? Hurry up and run. The dark red divine dragon said. Heavenly King Hun said, It's not that simple. The Rain Clan's foundation is also beyond imagination. They must have at least a Sun-class Saint weapon. After all, the Rain Clan was once glorious. Therefore, it was still unknown whether they could defeat the Rain Clan in this battle. Interesting. All the more reason for us to stay here and watch. Lin Xian sneered. This kind of shocking battle might not be seen even in a few thousand years. Although it was dangerous, they were still not afraid. That was because they also had the Great Sage item in their hands. If they really had no other choice, they could enter the Great Sage Pagoda and directly shatter the void to leave. More and more black holes appeared in the sky. The experts of the Fiend Planet were still teleporting. Finally, 3 days later, a bolt of lightning streaked across the sky. At this moment, a majestic voice resounded between heaven and earth. Kill. The sky moved. Countless experts of the demon palace rushed down from the sky and attacked the Rain clan. This scene was simply too shocking. Every single one of them was like a demon god. It was as if countless black mountains were descending from the sky, making it hard for people to breathe. Boom. Boom. The void shattered in an instant as countless arrays were torn apart. The great earth sunk, terrifying great cracks appearing. It was as if the entire world was going to be hacked apart. Those who offend my Rain clan will be killed without mercy. In the depths of the earth, an angry voice was also heard. Immediately after, dark clouds gathered in the sky and countless raindrops began to fall. Below them was a vast ocean that surged through the sky. It was as if the entire world had turned into an ocean. Heavy rain poured down. This was not ordinary water. Instead, it was filled with killing intent. Every single one of them was formed by a peerless killing array that carried with it the power of the natural laws. In an instant, they collided with the Demon Palace's army. Both sides began to fight. On the Demon Palace's side, there were people who had their bodies pierced by the laws of the rain and fell to the ground. As for the other experts, they rushed down and arrived on the ground. The city below was instantly destroyed. The platforms, pavilions, and palaces were all turned into ashes. At this moment, they had truly gone mad with killing. Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon were fighting in the army camp. At this moment, their expressions were grave. To be honest, the two of them were veterans of hundreds of battles. They had seen all kinds of geniuses and experienced all kinds of dangerous battles. However, those were only individual battles. At most, they would be surrounded by several hundred people. But now, there were more than hundreds of millions of sacred spirits fighting. This was the first time in their lives that they had experienced such a grand scene. This kind of spiritual shock gave Lin Xian a lot of enlightenment. It was truly hundreds of millions of sacred spirits as soldiers and millions of fiend gods as generals. The Rain clan's formations were truly marvelous. They had been passed down for tens of thousands of years. Even Black Mountain was alarmed by it. The northern monster also extended his soul to observe the battle. This was a world-destroying battle. The northern monster was greatly alarmed. The Demon Palace's powerful attack destroyed countless cities below. Although the Rain clan had a torrential rain and countless formations, they were still mercilessly destroyed. Right at this moment, a radiance erupted from the distant land, illuminating half the sky. A minor saint attacked with all his strength. As he opened and closed his palm, a monstrous aura was emitted. Countless experts of the Demon Palace were sent flying. The might of a minor saint was vividly displayed at this moment. Since you dare to behave atrociously in my Rain clan, you must all die. That minor saint of the Rain clan was emitting a monstrous killing intent. It was as if he had transformed into a god of death. He formed hand seals and the law of rain was spurted out from his palm. At this moment, a silver river swept across the 9 heavens. Wherever it passed, the experts of the Demon Palace were all cut in half. In this battle, over 1,000 experts had fallen. Humph. So what if you're a minor saint of the Rain clan? You're not qualified to be impudent. A minor saint of the Demon Palace also arrived. He was holding a black ghost seal. A ghost face stretched out and shattered the silver river. The 2 minor saints fought fiercely. I'll help you. Another minor saint rushed over. The Rain clan was, after all, their headquarters. It was very convenient for them to send reinforcements. 2 against 1, the minor saint sent the ghost seal flying. However, at this moment, a long black blade flew over from the sky and slashed down, cutting the 2 minor saints in half. Ah! The 2 minor saints screamed miserably. It was a top-grade saint tool. Their faces were filled with fear. This was a top-grade moon-grade saint tool. Ordinary minor saints did not have it. Only Saint Venerables had it. They did not expect it to be used so quickly. The one holding the top-grade saint tool was a minor saint at the peak of the 6th heavenly layer. His strength was so strong that it could crush everything. He waved the long blade. Wherever it passed, nothing could stop him. Asterisk roar. Asterisk in the endless sea. A shark that was over 10,000 meters long rushed out. Its huge body turned and sent countless people of the demon palace flying. In addition to the shark, a powerful sea demon came out from the deep sea. The Rain clan was originally occupied by the sea. It was extremely vast. There were countless sea demons in the sea. At this moment, all of them had erupted. Asterisk roar. Asterisk in the sky, another extremely terrifying roar was heard. It was a demonic beast brought by the demon palace. It was a black bat. It was also a sixth heavenly layer demonic beast. Its strength was unparalleled. Chapter 3781. He flapped his wings and brought forth an endless amount of demonic wind. At the same time, he sucked out black thunder that filled the sky. It was like a lightning tribulation. In an instant, over 100 million sea monsters were killed. Their corpses fell down and piled up into a mountain. Their blood turned into a sea of blood that surged through the heaven and earth. Bitter. This was the only word that could be used to describe this battle. The Rain clan could be said to have produced experts in large numbers. They had countless formations, and even used all kinds of weapons. The Demon Palace's side had clearly come prepared. Your Demon Palace is too excessive. Do you really want to fight to the death? The people of the Rain clan roared crazily. Among them, 3 silhouettes rushed over. These 3 silhouettes looked very old. They were living fossils. Their cultivation had reached the late stage of the 6th heavenly layer. At this moment, they were recklessly displaying their power. Their auras were like dragons that could crush the heaven and earth. The 3 of them joined hands and took out a decree. It was the method of the Rain clan. It was extremely ancient, and there were many cracks on it. On the decree, there was an ancient character that was flickering with a demonic radiance. It was an ancient Taoist scripture character. Although it was only a single character, it was like a sun that illuminated the world. It was a good item. When the dark red divine dragon sensed the aura, its eyes immediately lit up. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He already knew about the might of the ancient scripture character. However, it seemed that this was its true might. Sure enough, even He Shan was surprised. The foundation of the Rain clan was truly interesting. The people of the Demon Palace were also alarmed. Those few characters were like a mountain that pressed down on them, causing their bodies to tremble. The experts of the Demon Palace also roared. They took out their moon-grade top-notch saint artifacts and erupted with power. The long black blade was like a huge black dragon. It descended from the sky and slashed toward the Rain clan's decree. They wanted to destroy it. However, they were repelled by the radiance emitted by the laws. The Rain clan's decree suddenly rushed out and collided with the long blade. It was actually repelled. Not only that, but the body of the late-stage 6th heavenly layer small saint of the Demon Palace also split open. He let out a frantic scream and quickly retreated. You want to leave? Go to hell. The 3 living fossils roared. They controlled the laws of the Rain clan and chased after the Rain clan's small saint. The others wanted to go over, but all of them were sealed. All of a sudden, the 3 living fossils actually suppressed a part of the world. The Demon Palace's members felt their scalps go numb, and their eyes were filled with despair. However, at that moment, a palm covered the sky and covered the earth. It directly enveloped the Rain clan's decree and the 3 spark stones. Then the bodies of the 3 living fossils split open and they screamed as they retreated. The Rain clan's decree was also grasped in Run Yi's hand. Who was this person? Lin Xian's eyes widened. Too powerful. The little saint was killed with just a flick of his finger. The dark red divine dragon also screamed. A holy venerate. There really was a holy venerate. Is this a saint venerable? Lin Xian was astonished. This was too terrifying. This was the 7th heavenly layer of the saint realm, completely surpassing the minor saint realm. Every heavenly layer was a realm. It was indeed a well-deserved reputation. The gap between them was really too big. At this point, wanting to jump ranks to battle was really as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Oh no, it was the Lord. On the Rain clan side, Yu Shijie and Di Ling also frowned. There were a lot of super experts standing next to them, and their expressions also changed greatly. Quickly go and ask the old ancestor to take action. The old ancestor, who was also the previous clan leader, had also reached the holy venerate level. Normally, he would cultivate in seclusion and ignore everything. At this moment, he had no choice but to come out of seclusion. A huge hand of water appeared in the sky and blocked the huge pitch-black hand. What? You want to take away my Rain clan's treasure? Stay. Under the control of the Holy Venerate, the Rain clan's decree blossomed with brilliant light. It flicked away the huge black hand. As for the huge black head, his left hand grasped the top-grade Holy Venerate, the pitch-black long saber, and fought a great battle. The battle between the two Holy Venerates swept through everything. The range of the battle was really too wide. It made the others not dare to approach. Quickly retreat. They left this sky and went to another place to fight a decisive battle. This time, the Demon Palace didn't just bring a top-grade Holy Venerate. Other than that, they also brought these two Holy Venerates in two different directions. Finally, they tore apart countless great formations. They slaughtered their way into their headquarters and tore them into 10,000 pieces. The people of the Demon Palace rushed in like demons from hell. With top-grade Holy Venerates opening a path, there were no formations that could stop them. However, the Rain clan occupied two worlds, and their foundation was very rich. Their headquarters was located at the center of the world. The palace was suspended in the sky like a divine land. It was exceptionally beautiful and dreamy. At this moment, the formations protecting their headquarters were even more powerful. They had been passed down from the ancient era, and were absolutely incomparable. Quickly counterattack. They relied on their super formations to counterattack. The battle was very bitter. Furthermore, it lasted for a very long time. In the blink of an eye, a month passed. Every day, there would be experts dying. Mountains of corpses and seas of blood would be covered. The entire Twin Rain planet had turned into an Azura hell. Gradually, 2 months passed. 3 months passed. The outcome of the battle had yet to be determined. It was truly too miserable. The entire world was dyed red. People from many holy cities arrived. Of course, no one went out to fight, nor did anyone join the battle. It seemed as if two powers were fighting. Among them, people from the 10,000 Fiend City and the Thunder God City sent people. For example, Lei Chong, White-Eyed Beast Sage, and the others all arrived at Twin Rain Planet. They were watching the battle from the rear. With their status, it was very easy for them to obtain the protection of one side. The battle lasted for half a year. It attracted the attention of countless people. Everyone was discussing, probing, and speculating about the outcome of the battle. In the end, they speculated that both sides would very likely end in a draw. Both sides would suffer great losses, and then the battle would end. However, on this day, another saint descended. He was also a Holy Venerate. He carried a Sun-class divine artifact. With a single strike, he directly pierced through the world. A pitch-black hole appeared, causing countless people to scream in fear. The battle had changed. The news spread throughout the second starfield. Everyone screamed excitedly again. Had a Sun-class divine artifact finally appeared? Sure enough, a crack appeared on the Rain clan's super grand formation after being struck by this attack. Kill. The people from the Demon Palace finally seized the opportunity to kill their way in. Furthermore, the people in the headquarters were in despair this time. What kind of weapon was that? It was too terrifying. Even their formation, which had been around for tens of thousands of years, was shattered. At the center of the Rain clan, the headquarters of the Rain God Island, blood flowed like a river. A great battle broke out. Countless buildings on the island collapsed. No. This time, they had really gone crazy. Their elites and treasures were all destroyed in the headquarters. How could they not be jealous? Quickly, asked the old ancestor to take action. However, they were in despair. Two Holy Venerates wanted to kill the old ancestor. Their old ancestor retreated in defeat. His whole body was covered in blood, and he simply couldn't care about them. They reckoned that he was in danger of dying. Could it be that the heavens wanted to destroy the Rain clan? Many people were in despair. Their minds were in a mess. They had to organize their thoughts. Thank you for your monthly votes, recommendation votes, and rewards. Thank you for your support. Chapter 3782. The Rain clan's patriarch's face was gloomy. He looked around with a face full of fear. He knew that he could not hold on any longer. He had to use a more powerful foundation. Quickly use the blood sacrifice to activate our 10,000 years of foundation. As the Rain clan, they had a long inheritance. How could they only have one Saint Venerable? However, some of them were like lamps that had run out of oil. They were sealed by divine crystals. They would not use it until the moment when the clan was exterminated. Now, they had reached the moment when their clan was exterminated. They had to use their foundation. Countless Rain clan martial artists cut open their palms, causing blood to gush out. Beneath the ground, an extremely simple and ancient array formation appeared. It flickered with a demonic light. The ground cracked open and a pitch-black passage appeared. The Rain clan's patriarch jumped in. The elders of the Rain clan also followed. Even Wuxia was lucky enough to follow in. After stepping in, she was stunned. It turned out that this was an underground world, a world of its own. In that world, there were many sleeping figures. They were sealed by the highest grade divine crystals. Their life aura was at the lowest. These people were incomparably old, like dried corpses. However, they were not dead. There were a total of 12 figures. 2 of them were abnormally old. They were 2 Saint Venerables. The other 10 people were saints at the peak of the 6th heaven. They were one step away from entering the realm of Saint Venerables. This was all the foundation of the Rain clan. It was what they relied on for tens of thousands of years. At this moment, they had no choice but to use it. Of course, they did not dare to use all of them. They only revived half of them. They revived a saint and 5 peak 6th heavenly layer minor saints. After these people were awakened, they revealed heavy gazes. What's going on? Why do you have to wake us up? Old ancestor, the clan is about to be exterminated. A strong enemy is attacking. We have no choice but to wake them up. The people of the Rain clan knelt down. The revived saint and the 5 late 6th heavenly layer minor saints were instantly furious. Who dared to exterminate the Rain clan? Do you want to die? Kill. Kill them all. The Saint Venerable led the 6 late minor saints and soared into the sky, breaking through the ground and heading towards the sky. Boom. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The void shattered. Countless large cracks appeared. Heavens, another Saint Venerable has appeared. Someone screamed. In the distance, Lin Xian, the dark red dragon, Lei Chong, the white-eyed beast sage, and the others were all shocked beyond words. The Rain clan's trump card has appeared. Brat, watch carefully. He Shan coldly snorted. Lin Xian's eyes glowed with golden light as he stared into the distance. In the next moment, he narrowed his eyes. That was because just the light that the figure carried was enough to make his eyes hurt. Was this the Lord? Others couldn't even look at them directly. Such people were truly world-shaking experts. Those who offend my clan will be killed without mercy. After the Saint Sovereign appeared, he raised his head and roared, absorbing the power of the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Its originally shriveled and zombie-like body instantly swelled up, and its head of white hair also turned jet black. Soon, he turned from an old man with 1 foot in the grave to a handsome man in his 30s. The power in his body was too terrifying. It was like a vast ocean, vast and mighty. Behind him, the 5 late little saints were the same. Each of them had recovered to their peak state. Ancestor, the ancestor has been resurrected. The people of the Rain clan kept on screaming. Hope was restored in their eyes. This is great. Kill. Their confidence was greatly boosted, and they quickly charged forward. Buzz. The Saint Sovereign rose from the sky and stood together with the Saint Sovereign of the Devil Palace. The two collided, tearing apart the 9 heavens and 10 earths. At this moment, the Rain clan, who was originally in a disadvantageous position, once again charged forward. The two sides are evenly matched again, and there's no word the momentum of the Rain clan increased greatly, and they became braver as they fought. Was this the power of a Saint Sovereign? A single person was enough to reverse the situation of the battle. Lin Xian was astonished. When would he become such an expert? The other spectators were also shocked. It seemed like the Rain clan was really going all out. Even the Saint Sovereign had been resurrected. Most likely the battle would end soon, right? Of course, they also knew that this was the final moment, and it was extremely dangerous. The slightest carelessness would cause them to enter the myriad tribulations realm. Great! The previous patriarch of the Rain clan laughed heartily. Originally, he was almost killed by the Rain clan. Now another Saint Sovereign had come. The two of them joined hands and unleashed the Rain clan's great divine ability. They even unleashed the ancient scripture of the Rain clan. Kill. The resurrected Saint Sovereign took out a sword. With a wave of his sword, the heavens fell and the earth cracked. It was also a sun-grade Saint tool. This attack was really too terrifying. 2 sun-grade Saint tools were enough to destroy the entire world. Fortunately, this attack was aimed at the 9 heavens, and the outer space was shattered. If it was aimed at the earth, perhaps the entire world would be torn apart. Bang! The 5 resurrected minor saints also charged toward the Black Bat because they felt that the threat of the Black Bat was too great. The Black Bat had already killed many sea demons, and many of the Rain clan's people. Bastard, you're courting death. After being resurrected, the 5 minor saints roared and attacked crazily. The Black Bat roared and resisted. However, it was soon seriously injured. These 5 resurrected old fellows were really too powerful. One of the Black Bat's wings was chopped off, and its whole body was covered in blood. It was really too miserable. The expression of the Devil Palace's people became incomparably unsightly. Could it be that they were going to fail this time? The spectators also sighed. The situation had taken a huge turn. It seemed like the Rain clan was going to change the situation. They didn't expect the Rain clan's foundation to be so strong. These people were too shocked. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The dark red divine dragon said, "Wow, it can't be, right? Can they still turn the tables?" Lin Xian was also shocked. It seemed like these ancient families were really much more terrifying than what he had imagined. However, at this time, the situation changed again. One of the 5 resurrected living fossils had its body split into 2 halves. In the sky, a black water serpent rushed out. It was also a 6th heavenly layer demon beast. Its strength was unparalleled. As soon as it appeared, it immediately chopped an expert into 2 halves. At the same time, it started a massacre in all directions. At the same time, the Black Bat also fought back. 2 Saint Sovereigns were fighting against 5 living fossils. Damn it! That living fossil's body was restored, and it started a fierce battle. However, the situation was only a little better, and there wasn't much change. After all, 5 late minor saints appeared at the same time. This was simply a super powerful force. Unless the Devil Palace sent out another Saint Sovereign, they wouldn't be able to resist. This battle was about to come to an end. That's right. The Devil Palace was probably going to be defeated. Unless they sent out more late minor saints or another Saint Sovereign. There shouldn't be any, right? The Devil Palace didn't have such a foundation. Even if they did, they wouldn't appear in a short period of time. In the 2nd heavenly realm, the spectators shook their heads. They felt that the battle was about to end. The people of the Devil Palace were also retreating, preparing to retreat at any time. The Rain clan was full of confidence. Kill. Quickly kill them and avenge our people. These people rushed forward. They would never let the Devil Palace leave so easily. Chapter 3783. The situation was completely one-sided. The Fiend Palace suffered heavy losses, and quite a few people died. Blood overflowed into the heavens, dyeing the great earth red. Just at that moment, a sigh rang out. Who would have thought that the Rain clan actually had such a foundation? This voice caused the bodies of many Rain clan's saints to crack open. Even the 5 living fossils that had been revived had cracks on their bodies. As if they were facing a great enemy, they quickly retreated. Damn it! Did another holy venerate appear? At this moment, the people of Rain City went crazy. The experts of the 2nd astral world also gasped. What's going on? The Demon Palace had a saint venerable? Wasn't this too inconceivable? Countless gazes looked over, searching for the person who spoke. The eyelids of Lin Xian and the dark red dragon were also twitching violently. He Shan exclaimed in surprise. There was going to be a good show to watch. It seemed that an extraordinary character had come to the Demon Palace. Heaven and earth shattered. A figure appeared from the horizon, and then walked over. He had only taken 3 steps. Yet he had traversed over 1,000,000 miles. This was simply a matter of inches. Not good. The two Saint Venerables from the Rain clan felt their blood run cold. They quickly retreated. At the same time, they joined hands to support the Sun-class Saint artifact and hammered down countless laws, completely enveloping the people of the Rain clan. The Demon Palace's people also quickly gathered around them. The two holy venerates revealed smiles at the corners of their mouths. In the next moment, they bowed slightly and paid their respects to the hall master. Could the hall master of this shop be the hall master of the Demon Palace? When everyone heard this, they were all stunned. How could this be? Wasn't the Fiend Palace's palace master in seclusion? Why would he appear here? The people from the Second Star Realm were dumbstruck. The people from the Rain clan were even more horrified. The Rain clan's saint nearly pissed his pants. The Fiend Palace's palace master was a peak holy venerate. He was only one step away from becoming a sage king. Once such a person appeared, he would be able to sweep through the world. Other than a true sage king, who else could suppress it? What the fuck? Why did this person come out? The dark red dragon was startled. This was a legendary demon lord. Lin Xian's eyes widened as he spoke. This was the demon child's father. He was simply too powerful. His voice alone was enough to rip a little saint's body apart. In the second astral realm, the experts who were secretly observing also exclaimed. Even the powerhouses of the holy city looked solemn. As for the people from the Rain clan, their complexions turned even paler. If the demon lord really came, then they wouldn't have to fight. A person who was about to become Shengguan king, even if they used all of their trump cards, they might not be able to defeat him. The two saints of the Rain clan stood there, as if they were facing a great enemy. Above their heads, the sun-grade saint artifacts blossomed with incomparable radiance. Autumn Mountain Rain Sword? Never would I have thought that your Rain clan would even take out this saint artifact. The figure that appeared said faintly. His eyes were like two suns, staring at the treasured sword above. This scene made the two holy venerates of the Rain clan feel as if they were facing a great enemy. One of them gritted his teeth and said, "Demon Lord, do you really want to fight to the death? Although your cultivation is higher than ours, we haven't fully revealed our trump cards yet. Once we fight with our lives on the line, both sides will suffer. Do you really want others to reap the benefits?" That's right, although the Demon Lord is powerful, our Rain clan isn't easy to bully. The other holy venerate snorted coldly. The Demon Lord said indifferently, "You killed my son. Don't tell me you don't allow me to take revenge?" Ridiculous. The demon child wasn't killed by our Rain clan. With your strength you should know. The other holy venerate snorted coldly, his face incomparably ugly. What do you want to do? Who can say for sure? You guys should just obediently surrender. If you can leave the Double Rain Star and find another place to settle down, I can consider letting your Rain clan go. Damn it, you actually dare to have ideas about our world. The two holy venerates of the Rain clan roared crazily, the laws on their bodies surged. At this moment, they finally understood that the other party was looking for an excuse to attack their Rain clan. On the other side, Lin Xian also frowned. What's going on? Could it be that they knew that the demon child wasn't killed by the Rain clan? If that was the case, why did they still attack? Lin Xian was too shocked, because the demon child was killed by him. Could it be that the other party already knew about it? It seems like this demon lord is planning something big, He Shan transmitted. He knew that his son wasn't killed by the Rain clan, but he still attacked. Then there was only one explanation. He had his eyes on the Double Rain Star where the Rain clan was located, and he wanted to occupy both worlds. Occupy both worlds? Lin Xian was too shocked. He San nodded. Do you know what it means to possess a world? All the resources in the world would be at your disposal. Think about how much wealth that would be. More importantly, with the world, you would have the power of the world. Do you know what a sun-grade saint artifact is made of? Apart from heaven-defying metal materials, it also requires countless laws to nurture it. Once it's nurtured, it will take thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, or even tens of thousands of years. At the saint realm, cultivation is already very difficult, let alone refining a saint artifact for tens of thousands of years. That's very difficult to do. Therefore, there is a method, which is to use world energy to nurture it. Using the entire world as a container to nurture a saint artifact. Only in this way can a sun-grade saint artifact be created after countless years. Other than that, you can only snatch it. However, the consequences of snatching a sun-grade saint artifact are very big. If it's light, you'll be killed. If it's heavy, you'll be hunted down for thousands of years. No one is willing to bear such consequences. Moreover, sun-grade saint artifacts generally have spirits, so it's very difficult to snatch them away. So that's how it is. Lin Xian was stunned. Saint artifacts actually require world energy to nurture. He really didn't know about this before because he never thought of nurturing saint artifacts. Except for the Black Earth, which is a semi-finished product, he used the starry sky fire to temper it. The other saint artifacts were all snatched by him. The Great Destruction Spear was snatched from the Great Demon. The unparalleled sword was given to him by the Holy City. Other than that, the other saint artifacts were also obtained by him. Therefore, he really doesn't know much about the refinement of saint artifacts. Then what about the sun-grade divine artifacts, such as the legendary saint artifacts, are also nurtured with world energy? That's right. However, it's even more terrifying than the sun-grade divine artifacts. Not only does it require the nurturing of a world, but it also requires the nurturing of several worlds to nurture a legendary saint artifact. As for the Emperor weapon, it's even more terrifying. I once heard of a legend. Legend has it that in ancient times, there was an extremely terrifying weapon that was nurtured by 999,999 worlds. In the end, it's very heaven-defying. It's said that this weapon once opened a path to the immortal world. 999,999 worlds. How terrifying is that? Lin Xian was too shocked. Where did that weapon go? I don't know. Some people said that it entered the immortal world. Some people said that it shattered during the battle with the immortals. Even now, I don't know what that weapon is called. I only know that there was such a legend. While Lin Xian was learning about these things, the Saint Venerables of the Rain Clan in front of him were completely furious. The Double Rain Planet is the foundation of the Rain Clan. They have 2 worlds that allow them to have unlimited resources. Moreover, they can nurture sun-grade saint artifacts. Even the dragon veins of the earth can nourish living fossils like them. But once they leave, they will have nothing. Chapter 3784. One had to know that it was no longer the chaotic era of the past. Now every world basically had a master behind it. Most of the worlds didn't have a powerful overlord. They were divided into groups of heroes. Among them, there were some worlds that seemed to have powerhouses standing side by side. However, they were all created. Therefore, there were really too few ownerless worlds. It could be said that there were basically none. Even someone as strong as the evil demon overlord, who was about to become a saint king, didn't have an independent world. After all, the evil demon star was shared with other forces. It seemed that the evil demon overlord was really anxious. That was why he wanted to attack their dual rain star. However, did he really think that their rain clan was so easy to bully? Is that so? It just so happens that I want to experience your rain clan's ultimate technique. The evil demon overlord in front said coldly. An extremely terrifying aura appeared on his body, causing the surrounding saints to vomit blood and fly back. They knew that there would be a world-shaking battle. Therefore, these people frantically retreated, directly pushing them to the edge of the world. Kill. The 2 Saint Venerables of the Rain Clan controlled the Autumn 3 Heavens Rain Sword and slashed down. This sword was like a peerless divine sword. The world was split apart. A terrifying aura enveloped the evil demon overlord. The evil demon overlord coldly snorted. Countless amounts of evil demon chi appeared on his body, transforming into a pair of evil demon hands, directly welcoming the attack. Clang! Countless large cracks appeared in the sky. So terrifying. Everyone was shocked. However, some of the true experts knew that this was just a probe. The real killing move was still behind. Sure enough, after this attack, the 2 saints of the Rain Clan controlled the Autumn 3 Heavens Rain Sword again. This time, The power was much stronger than before. The evil demon overlord sneered. The laws on his body pervaded. Great Tao revolved around him, and a terrifying saint aura flew out. He stretched out his palm. It was like a black sun, rotating in the sky and colliding with the opponent's sword chi. Boom. Boom. The two sides exchanged a world-shaking battle. The two Saint Venerables of the Rain clan were very strong. Coupled with the Sun Grade Saint artifact, they were truly terrifying to the extreme. However, the evil demon overlord was even more terrifying. The laws on his body was like the sharpest sword light, unceasingly tearing the void apart. The battle between the two sides shocked everyone. At this time, a Saint Venerables of the Rain clan suddenly screamed. He was really two. As soon as these words were spoken, the surrounding people were all stunned. What's going on? Was this terrifying demon overlord just an avatar? If that was the case, wouldn't it be too terrifying? Where's the real demon overlord? Is he still in seclusion? Everyone gasped. Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon felt their scalps go numb. This person's strength was beyond their imagination. Boom. Boom. That's right, you do have some foresight. This is only one of my incarnations, but even so, it's enough to deal with you. Wang. The fiend overlord held the black saber in his hand. One person and one saber continuously attacked, forcing back the two holy venerates. Damn it, kill him. The two Saint Venerables from the Rain clan furiously roared. Their bodies were dyed with blood. However, they were not afraid. The aura of the great Tao surged from their bodies and surrounded the 9 heavens. You want to kill me? You're overestimating yourselves. The demon lord sneered. Although it's just a clone, it's not something you can resist. Boom. The laws on his body were like a vast ocean, sending the two of them flying. At the same time he sneered, kill them all for me. Let the Rain clan be completely annihilated. Kill. The people of the Demon Palace crazily roared. Previously they were at a disadvantage. Now they could finally turn the tables. Their overlord had arrived, and he would lead them to sweep away everything. Wang. 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 A black gourd appeared in the sky. It was as big as a mountain. The lid of the gourd opened, and clumps of black fog came out from it. They turned into phantoms one after another and pounced on him. Ayu! The saints of the Rain clan screamed as if they had gone mad. The holy venerables also bellowed, quickly retreat. Don't block it. Their complexions were unsightly. That was because the gourd contained malicious spirits that the demon overlord had obtained in the starry sky for several thousand years. The way he cultivated them was extremely terrifying. Ordinary small saints were not his match. Under the powerful attacks of the demon overlord's incarnation, the Rain clan was forced to retreat again and again. Blood surged in the sky once again, and corpses piled up like a mountain. The people of the Rain clan were in despair once again. This feeling was even more terrifying than the first time they were in despair, because they still had hope the first time. But now that they had used up all their trump cards, they still couldn't do anything to the demon overlord. The demon overlord's attack was extremely terrifying. He used the black gourd to block the two holy venerables of the Rain clan. At the same time, the sun-class Saint tool in his hand emitted an incomparable radiance as he slashed downward. The earth cracked open, and one after another trench appeared, covering the entire world. It was as if the world was about to be destroyed. The people of the Rain clan screamed crazily. Some of them fled, while others resisted. As for the holy venerables, their complexions were extremely unsightly. Was the demon overlord looking for the world soul? Quickly revive. Use all your trump cards. That living fossil holy venerate roared crazily. They could no longer block it. Below, the leader of the Rain clan once again led the raindrop dancer to perform the blood sacrifice, reviving the remaining members of the Rain clan. Below the earth, another terrifying aura spread out. At this moment, everyone was terrified. Some of the onlookers even left the world. They felt that if this continued, the world would collapse. It was better for them to escape as soon as possible. Two young masters quickly leave. We will also leave. We are no longer needed here. The Heaven Battering King's scalp went numb. He was originally in charge of the logistics team, and his responsibility was to provide resources. But now that the battle had turned out like this, They were not needed at all. They had to leave quickly. If they did not leave, the energy waves would tear them to pieces. After telling Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon, the heaven-battering king led his subordinates and left quickly. On the other side, Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon's expressions also changed. They also felt the monstrous aura. They were at the edge of the world, very far from the battlefield. But even so, the aura still made their hair stand on end. "Let's leave quickly," the dark red divine dragon said. He did not want to stay any longer. Lin Xian nodded and prepared to leave. But at this time Heishan floated out. He asked, "Do you really want to leave?" "What do you mean?" Lin Xian was stunned. "If we don't leave, are we going to stay here and watch? We can also go to the extraterritorial station." Indeed, most of the people were watching the battle in the extraterritorial station. They were all saints, so they could definitely see the situation clearly. If they really could not, there were still experts who had set up arrays. They could watch through the arrays. However, Heishan shook his head. "I'm not talking about watching the battle. I'm going to give you a great opportunity." "Great opportunity? What great opportunity?" Lin Xian was even more confused. "Guess what it is?" Chapter 3785. What fortune? Heishan laughed. "Of course, it's to give this world to you. How about it? Are you interested?" The dark rainbow godly dragon jumped up. "Are you serious? Are you trying to cause trouble?" Lin Xian was also shocked. Could it be? He thought of a possibility. Heishan nodded. "That's right, it's exactly what you're thinking. How about it? Do you dare to do something big?" Lin Xian naturally knew what Black Mountain meant when he arrived at Western Liangqi. It seemed like Heishan wanted to help him seize the dual rain star. The evil demon lord attacked the Rain Clan, and even wanted to destroy the Rain Clan in order to seize this world and control its power. Now that Heishan said so, were they going to fight against the evil demon lord? Lin Xian said seriously. Although this idea was very tempting, the evil demon lord was too strong. One of his incarnations could fight against two saints. This strength isn't something we can resist. Of course, we won't fight him head-on, Heishan said. No matter how strong he is, it's impossible to destroy the Rain Clan in a short period of time. It'll probably take a few more months. We can use this time to secretly change the owner of this world. At that time, you can seize this world and leave here. Even if the evil demon lord kills the Rain Clan, he can't do anything. Lin Xian asked in detail. He felt that this might really be an opportunity. Heishan explained how to seize the world. Lin Xian's heart jumped. It turned out that every world had a world soul. It was equivalent to the heavenly Tao and could control the laws of the entire world. Once it was recognized by the heavenly Tao of this world, unless it died, no one else could recognize it. Or they had to find the world soul. Otherwise, even if you occupied the entire world, you wouldn't be recognized by the heavenly Tao. Heishan's suggestion was to secretly find the world soul and seize it. Okay, they could try. Lin Xian thought about it. Although it was dangerous, if they succeeded, the benefits were too great. In the future, these two worlds would be his. What kind of concept was that? He felt excited just thinking about it. Next, the three of them made sufficient preparations. They hid their aura and sent it into the ground. Black Mountain used an ancient secret technique and began to search. Lin Xian and the dark red dragon quickly followed. They were nervous and excited. As they got closer and closer to the battlefield, they could feel the terrifying energy fluctuations coming from the other side, so their speed was very slow. After walking for several days, they finally got close to the so-called World Soul. Ka. Black Mountain stopped in front of him. He seemed to have bumped into something, but he wasn't angry. Instead, he cried out in surprise. He found it, it was here. Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon walked up and looked ahead cautiously. I don't see anything special. The dark red divine dragon grinned. Lin Xian frowned. His path was blocked. That's right, it was blocked. However, it was not blocked by a stone, but by a formation. This formation was formed by the great Tao of heaven and earth. as well as the dragon veins and spiritual veins of the earth. It was extremely terrifying. Moreover, it was very deep. It was in the center of the world, so the battle above had not affected it yet. Sure enough, the dark red divine dragon made a few seals to break the formation. Immediately, the formation in front of them lit up. Circle after circle, it illuminated the surroundings. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He found that this was a square formation that completely sealed the space. Through the formation, they saw that there seemed to be an ancient bronze coffin inside. The coffin? The dark red divine dragon was shocked. Could it be that this was the world soul? Lin Xian was also shocked. He-san said, "It seems that the Rain clan's expert was hidden here. The world soul is in this coffin. If we open the coffin and take the world soul, we can snatch this world from the Rain clan. What are we waiting for? Hurry up." The dark red divine dragon was excited and immediately broke the formation. Black Mountain said, "Don't be impulsive. This formation is much more terrifying than you imagined. If you're not careful, the people above will know. At that time, those saint venerables will come down to kill you. Think about the consequences." The dark red dragon god jumped in fright and hurriedly retracted its hand. He said with an unkind expression, "Old Black, you're not trying to trick us, right?" Lin Xian was also vigilant. "Yes, what are you trying to do?" "I'm trying to do something, but I don't need the world soul power. What I need is to help you. After you get the world soul power, you can help me revive." "You want to revive?" Lin Xian was shocked. Black Mountain was a great sage. If he revived, wouldn't he also be a great sage? That was an existence even more terrifying than a saint king. Thinking of this, his heart beat wildly. He had the Eye of Time, which was very mysterious. It had saved his and the dark red divine dragon's lives. He didn't know if the Eye of Time would work on the great sage. Moreover, Black Mountain had died too long ago. He didn't know how many tens of thousands of years ago he died. Therefore, Lin Xian wasn't sure. Black Mountain didn't know that he had the Eye of Time. When he revived the dark red divine dragon, he did it secretly. However, he still said, Okay. As long as you don't become enemies with me and don't harm me, I will definitely help you revive in the future." "Okay, I believe you." Black Mountain nodded solemnly. Next, he began to make his move. The dragon veins of the earth wanted to revive, but they were extinguished by Black 3. Those dragon veins let out deep dragon roars. Damn, what a magical method to break the array. The dark red divine dragon was surprised. He watched carefully. Lin Xian was also surprised. At this moment, Black Mountain said, "Kid, use your great dragon sword soul to help me suppress these dragon veins." Dragon-shaped sword shadows flew out from Lin Xian's body to suppress the dragon veins. Black Mountain quickly broke the array. Even so, it took him half a month before he managed to tear open a crack on it. "Going quickly," Black Mountain said softly. Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon turned into a stream of light and quickly rushed in. This time, there was no blocking array. They could finally see the bronze coffin up close. The bronze coffin was very old. The shape on it was very strange. It was unknown how many tens of thousands of years ago the words were inscribed. Not only that, but it also emitted an extremely terrifying aura. The dark red divine dragon walked forward and wanted to open it. But just as he walked forward, the bronze coffin suddenly bloomed with light. The runes on it seemed to be alive, carrying a terrifying aura. The dark red divine dragon was shocked and immediately retreated to distance himself. Damn, is it alive? It scared the dragon to death. Lin Xian also looked at Black Mountain. Black Mountain said, "He was alive, but not much different from death. He only breathed. His soul and body were probably very weak." Lin Xian nodded. He had already heard that only living people could have the world soul and control this world. Even if this person's aura was very weak, as long as he didn't die, there would be no problem. Once he died, he would immediately choose another successor. Thinking about it, the Rain clan should be passed down like this. Chapter 3786. Heishan slowly approached, and the bronze coffin lit up again, emitting a mysterious aura. Heishan snorted coldly. Stop pretending to be mysterious. If I was at my peak, I could kill you with a single glance. Indeed, Heishan was a true great sage. He probably had many worlds under him. The most powerful person in the bronze coffin was probably a sacred venerable, so Heishan naturally looked down on him. Of course, although he looked down on him, Heishan was not careless at all. After all, he was only a remnant soul now. He used many secret techniques, stacking them on top of each other, and his aura became incomparably mysterious. Lin Xian was shocked. He realized that Heishan had used many laws to construct a small world. Using a world against a world? It was really too magical. Sure enough, the small world constructed by the specter kept colliding with the bronze coffin, causing the runes on the bronze coffin to tremble. The lid of the bronze coffin also slowly opened. Boom, boom, boom. Just like that, another 3 days passed and the lid of the bronze coffin was finally opened. More than half of the coffin was revealed. Lin Xian and the dark red dragon carefully went up to take a closer look. They realized that there was an old man lying inside. He was not tall, only about half a meter tall. He looked very old, and his body was beginning to shrink. The old man lying there was withered like a zombie, and there was no aura on him. Damn, is this guy really still alive? The dark red dragon muttered softly. Why did he look like a dead man? Lin Xian also frowned, and the golden light in his eyes swept down. Soon he realized that the other party's soul was like a small flame. Although it was very weak, it still existed. The other party was indeed still alive. Where was the heart of the world? Lin Xian asked. The specter said that it was in his hand. Lin Xian looked over, and his eye technique burst out, looking through the other party's hand. He saw that there was a walnut-sized blue ball of light in the other party's hand. The ball of light was like a water droplet. There were many patterns on it, and they were densely packed. The shape surprised Lin Xian. Why did it look like a seed? What are you waiting for? Hurry up and snatch it. The dark red divine dragon waved its claws and grabbed the other party's withered palm. Then it twisted it forcefully. What the fuck? Are these hands made of godly metal as well? His hand was so hard that it hurt. He realized that the other party's fingers had only cracked a little. Damn it, this guy's skin was too thick. Lin Xian gave it a try and was shocked as well. He had a divine body, and with the Qilin tattoo, he had the physique of a fifth-layer sage. But now, even with his full strength, he was only able to create a small crack. This person was really too strong. Even if he was dead, his body was not something they could break. Use the great dragon sword spirit, Heishan said. After Lin Xian heard this, he recalled the great dragon sword and began to pry open the other party's fingers. 1, 2, 3. Finally, he managed to pry open one of the opponent's fists, revealing half of a droplet-shaped seed. The battle outside was extremely intense. The Rain Clan's final trump card had been completely revived. 5 late little saints and 1 saint venerable had fully recovered. This caused the battle prowess of the Rain Clan to increase once again. Not only that, countless Rain Clan's experts were kneeling on the ground. They were very sincere. Ancient notes seemed to be coming out of their mouths, as if they were praying to the heavens. In the sky, the laws of the world were shining and hanging down. Divine chains of order caused the entire world to change. The people inside the world could feel the suppression. Those who were not from the Rain Clan had their cultivation base suppressed. As for the Rain Clan's people, their strength had increased. This caused the Rain Clan's people to be incomparably excited. Those Saint Venerables sneered. This was their world, and they could control everything. They could use the power of the world to suppress the other party. They could even attract the flames of heavenly punishment, torrential rain, and other kinds of worldly will to attack the other party. He wanted to let everyone know that their Rain Clan was the true ruler of the Twin Rain Planet. The Devil Palace's people had suffered heavy injuries, and they quickly retreated. Palace Master, what should we do? Those saints' complexions were unsightly. The incarnation of the Devil Overlord sneered. No matter, we'll defend first. Although they were the masters of this place, those Saint Venerables had just been revived. They won't be able to hold on for too long. When their lifespan comes to an end, I'll personally send them to hell. The Devil Overlord sneered malevolently. The other Saint Venerables also had disdainful smiles on their faces. Indeed, they were different from the other party. Currently, the Rain clan only had a single Saint Venerable. The other two revived Saint Venerables were their so-called trump cards. Since they were called trump cards, it meant that they couldn't be used rashly. They could only be sealed again after being used. Should they use them? Once they were used, they wouldn't be able to use them again. Therefore, it was impossible for those two revived living fossils to fight for too long. Otherwise, the other party's life force would be exhausted, and they would vanish like smoke. Therefore, what the Devil Palace wanted to do was to exhaust the other party's life force. They were at their peak, and had endless life force. As for the other party, they were at the end of their lifespan. Even if they were powerful now, they might become a pile of bones in a few days. Sure enough, the Devil Palace's people didn't try to contend against them. They just kept moving around. The Rain clan's people also discovered this. Immediately, their complexions became unsightly. Damn it, they're wasting time. We can't continue like this. We can't afford to waste time like this. Those people's complexions became unsightly. They decided to launch a thunder attack. They wanted to take care of the other party with lightning speed. The surrounding abnormal phenomena and the suppression of the natural laws became even more terrifying. The complexions of the Devil Palace's people became unsightly. If the Devil Lord wasn't here, they would have retreated long ago. That was because the Devil Lord was suppressing them by nearly 30%. This was really too terrifying. The Devil Lord was indeed laughing. If they persisted for a while longer, they wouldn't be able to hold on for much longer. Moreover, I've already sent people to look for the world soul. As long as I find it, I'll cut off their connection. Let's see how they'll die then. In the center of the underground world, Lin Xian used the great dragon sword soul to pry open one of the old man's hands. He saw the appearance of the world soul. But all of a sudden, the withered old man opened his eyes. His eyes emitted a terrifying radiance. Be careful. The dark red divine dragon was startled. Black Mountain was also startled. Lin Xian's body shook. He felt that his soul was attacked. Someone wanted to devour his soul. It was too sudden. They didn't even have time to react. Lin Xian was even more startled. Get lost. Lin Xian bellowed. A golden eye appeared behind him, and a terrifying soul attack surged out like a tide. At the same time, the great dragon sword soul also emitted a biting cold radiance. It wanted to destroy everything. Lin Xian used all his strength to resist the old man's soul attack. Chapter 3787. Lin Xian realized that he had been careless. He did not expect a dying soul to be so strong. He knew that he had underestimated a sacred venerate. Even a dying sacred venerate's power was not something he could imagine. Fortunately, he had many trump cards. This time he managed to force the other party's soul back. Lin Xian quickly retreated to a safe distance. At the same time he said, "Damn it, he's not dead." The dark red divine dragon jumped up and scolded, "Damn it, you old fart. You're already like this and you still want to harm others. Hurry up and die." Buzz. The old man lying in the coffin did not move his head. However, his eyes moved slowly and stared at the dark red divine dragon. The dark red divine dragon's hair stood on end. His gaze was like a sharp sword that wanted to pierce through the old man's body. He roared angrily, "What are you looking at? Have you never seen such a handsome dragon? If you look at me again, I'll dig your eyes out. You old fart, why aren't you dead yet? It's a waste of the dragon vein if you stay here." The withered corpse's body moved up and down violently. His lungs were like bellows, making wheezing sounds. He was infuriated. He was a sacred venerate. When he was at his peak, he was an extremely terrifying existence even among sacred venerates. However, he was very old and had reached the end of his life. Therefore, he was sealed here and used the remaining time to control the soul of the world. But now, an ant at the fifth heaven of the sage realm was mocking him. Moreover, a young man at the fourth heaven of the sage realm was able to force his soul back. This made him feel incredulous. At this moment, Heishan also floated over. He glanced at the old man in the coffin and shook his head slightly. Your aptitude is average. You're already lucky to be able to cultivate to this level. If you and I were born in the same era, I would probably be able to step on you with one foot and you would never be able to rise again. Puff. The old man in the coffin spat out a mouthful of black blood. He was finally driven mad. Another dark soul appeared and dared to look down on him. She let out an unwilling roar. Her voice was very low. Retreat quickly. Lin Xian, the dark red divine dragon, and the others were already prepared. They instantly entered the Great Sage Pagoda. This divine might slammed into the Great Sage Pagoda, emitting a deafening sound. The Great Sage Pagoda shook violently. It could completely withstand the impact. At the same time, on the other side of the land, a team quickly set off. They were led by 2 minor saints. They were very cautious, and their eyes were filled with cold light. They were sent by the Demon Palace to secretly seize the world soul. However, before they could even get close, they were struck by an extremely powerful force that shattered their bodies. Shatter their souls. No. These powerful beings screamed out as though they had gone mad. They wanted to escape, but it was already too late. They were instantly torn to shreds. These people were not reconciled. They had not even reached their destination, and were already killed. Damn it, what was happening in front of them? However, they would never know. This saint aura quickly swept out and then quickly disappeared. Lin Xian and the other 2 sensed for a while, and found that there was no danger. Then they walked out again. The moment the dark red divine dragon came out, it immediately cursed. Its smear splashed on the old man's face. Damn it, how dare you sneak attack me? Do you believe that I will kill you with a slap? Heishan sneered. As expected, his talent was not good enough. Lin Xian also snorted coldly. The old man was so angry that he shouted again. The soul fire in his eyes flickered. This time, it was a terrifying soul attack that swept out in all directions. The 3 of them hid in the Great Sage Pagoda again. Dang. 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 The attack this time was even more violent and lasted for a long time. After a long time, the dark red divine dragon's soul came out. Damn it, this old man is crazy. He is about to die, but he is still so powerful. Damn it, I will definitely become a saint venerable in the future. Stop talking, let's go out and take a look. Lin Xian and the other 2 came out again, ready to mock and ridicule. The dark red divine dragon was ready to spit. However, they were stunned. The eyes of the old man in the bronze coffin were wide open, but they had lost their luster. He was dead. The 3 of them could not believe it. This time, Heishan checked personally. They nodded. He was really dead. It seemed like he was angered to death by us. Hearing that, Lin Xian's mouth twitched. He was so angry. To be honest, he could not believe it. This was a saint venerable. He was angered to death. Of course, under normal circumstances, he would not be angered to death by 10,000 people, let alone us. However, this person was really too old. He did not have much time left. Furthermore, he had used his strength twice before, so he used up all his remaining life force. However, he did die in anger. It could be said that he was killed by us. Heishan explained. After Lin Xian heard it, he was speechless. The dark red divine dragon was excited. Damn it, he is dead. This guy is really dead. Ha 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 ha, I killed a saint venerable. This is too good. In the future, when I go out, I will say that I drowned a saint venerable. At that time, who will dare to provoke me? Heishan pulled the dark red divine dragon to the side. That's enough. You ruffian dragon, stop bragging. Hurry up and let this boy accept the world soul. Otherwise, if we are discovered by others, we will not be able to escape. Damn it, boy, hurry up. The dark red divine dragon also remembered the important matter. Lin Xian grabbed the water-shaped seed and entered the Great Sage Pagoda. The dark red divine dragon and Heishan also entered the Great Sage Pagoda. Riding on it, they broke through the void and quickly flew away. At the same time, the Rain Clan's people were still in a deadlock with the Demon Palace's people. The Rain Clan's people relied on the powerful natural laws and their control over the world to forcibly suppress the Demon Palace. This caused the Demon Palace's people to be in a disadvantageous position. The demon palace did not fight against them. Instead, they were stalling for time. However, at this time, the countless divine chains of order in the sky slowly disappeared and turned into primal chaos. What's going on? What happened? The Rain Clan's people were stupefied. They felt that their control over the world was weakening. Their strength bonuses were decreasing. What's going on? Could it be that something unexpected happened? The demon palace's people were stupefied. They felt that they were being suppressed, and their strength was rapidly disappearing. Their true strength had finally returned. It seemed that they had succeeded. Those Saint Venerables smiled. The demon overlord also had a smile on his face. Did they succeed? He sent out a small team. Presumably, they should have found the world soul, right? Perhaps they had already broken the connection between the world soul and Yu. Humph, let's see how you will die this time. A biting cold killing intent burst out from the demon overlord's eyes. He did not know that the team he sent out was mercilessly exterminated without even discovering the location of the world soul. Chapter 3788. Therefore, this misjudgment allowed Lin Xian and the others to gain time to escape. The people of the Rain Clan also panicked. The complexions of those Saint Venerables completely changed. Not good. Our control over the world has disappeared. It seems like there is a problem with the world soul. Quickly go down. We must not let the world soul have any problems. It is very likely that the people of the demon palace did this. These people roared crazily. Several small saints tore open the ground, wanting to enter. However, on the other side, the people of the demon palace really launched an attack. Where do you think you are going? Kill them for me. He still thought that it was his subordinate who controlled the world soul. Naturally, he would not let these people of the Rain Clan destroy it. Get lost. The Saint Venerables of the Rain Clan roared. The battle broke out again. This time, it was incomparably bitter. Originally, these Saint Venerables relied on the abnormal phenomenon of heaven and earth to preserve a part of their strength. After all, they wanted to preserve a part of their lives. But now, they could not care about anything. If they lost control of the world, their end would be very miserable. Therefore, at this moment, these people were fighting with their lives on the line. The eyes of the people of the demon palace were also red. They felt that their victory was in sight. Especially the incarnation of the demon overlord. He had an expression as if victory was already in his grasp. Naturally, he also attacked with his full strength. Both sides fought fiercely. At this time, Lin Xian and the others had already escaped from this world and arrived in the outer space. Should they stay here and watch the show? The dark red divine dragon was somewhat impatient because he had already discovered that the battle below was incomparably bitter. Clearly, these two sides were fighting with bloodshot eyes. Black Mountain said, "It was better to leave." The thing that this brat had was something that even Saint Kings would be jealous of. He could not leak the news. Otherwise, he would undoubtedly die. They withdrew the Great Sage Pagoda and entered the Black Earth, flying toward the distant starfield. As long as he left this battlefield and entered a random world, he would silently refine it before coming out. No one would know about it. Get lost. In the distance, the two Saint Venerables of the Rain Clan roared. They brandished their Autumn Mountain Rain sword and directly cut a Saint Venerable into two. However, they also suffered a palm strike from the demon overlord. The two of them were sent flying. The two of them vomited blood. The demon overlord carried a Sun-class saint artifact and attacked them. Finally, Shaochen defeated a Holy Venerate. Furthermore, that Holy Venerate was a living fossil. Previously, the Holy Venerate's life force was already very low. It was like a lamp that had run out of oil and could be extinguished at any moment. I can't hold on any longer. I'll self-destruct and try my best to hold on to one of them. Furthermore, I'll give you guys time to hurry. He hurriedly went down to take a look. What exactly was the problem? The power on the living fossil's body became more and more chaotic, and the laws were dazzling. The people of the Rain Clan were in despair. This was really their ancestor. At this moment, he was actually going to self-destruct. This was unacceptable to them. With a loud explosion, A holy venerate self-detonated. That terrifying power swept toward the fiend palace. Not good. The demon palace's people screamed as if they had gone mad. The other party unexpectedly blew himself up. He was truly a madman. They roared madly, but it was already too late. That was a saint venerable. When he was still alive, he could shake the world. At this moment, he was self-destructing with no regard for anything else. This power was enough to destroy the world. Fortunately, this Rain clan's Saint Venerable cherished his own world and directed the power above the 9 heavens. Otherwise, this world would definitely be torn apart by this attack. However, even with that being the case, the saints of the Fiend Palace were still falling in droves. Their bodies were turned into bloody mists, no longer existing. As for those small saints, they were also torn apart. Only their souls managed to escape. Even those holy venerates were affected by the attack. They were all seriously injured and started vomiting blood. The Fiend Master used a Sun-grade Saint artifact to defend himself. It was a black blade, and he fought in all directions. However, he was still unable to defeat all the power of the attack. He was also injured. The radiance on his body became much dimmer than before. It could be said that this attack had seriously injured the people of the Fiend Palace. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the people of the Rain clan tore open the earth and arrived below. The 2 holy venerates saw that the bronze coffin below had been opened by someone. Their ancestor was dumbstruck. He had an appearance of being unable to die in peace. Immediately, they all knelt down. Ancestor. The people of the Rain clan were crying and shouting. As for the 2 holy venerates, their eyes had turned red. Where was the world soul? Damn it! Why was the world soul gone? They had chiseled the coffin and even searched the entire world. However, they were still unable to find the world soul. Where was the world soul? Humph! Are you looking for the world soul? It's useless. It doesn't belong to your Rain clan anymore. It belongs to me. In the sky, the Fiend Master revealed a malevolent smile. Although the previous attack had caused them to suffer disastrous losses. However, so what? He was about to obtain a world soul, which was more than enough to make up for his losses. Damn it! It was really you guys who played tricks. Below, the experts of the Rain clan raised their heads to look at the sky. Their eyes were emitting biting cold killing intent. I hate you guys. They were surging with killing intent. They wished they could tear the other party apart. The Fiend Master sneered. Yes, I did it. So what? Are you angry and sullen? You want to kill me? Unfortunately, you don't have the ability to do so. You can't even defeat one of my incarnations, let alone my real body. Wait until I refine the world soul. Let's see who in the world can still be my opponent. The Fiend Master faced the sky and laughed wildly. At this moment, the people of the second heavenly realm were shocked. Damn it! The Fiend Master was actually planning this. They were actually deceived by him. The complexions of some people of the holy city were also incomparably gloomy. They also discovered that a peerless enemy had appeared. Previously, it was rumored that the Fiend Master would soon break through and become a Saint King. This was a powerful threat to the holy city. It was very possible that the Fiend Palace would evolve into a holy city in the future. However, they also knew that even if the Fiend Master became a Saint King, his foundation would still be incomparable to theirs. The current holy city had been passed down for tens of thousands of years. Even the youngest peerless city controlled many worlds. But what about the Fiend Palace? Although it was one of the overlords of the Fiend Star, it didn't truly control a world. This was the disparity, an irreparable disparity. They didn't expect that the Fiend Master would actually obtain a world. If he used this as a foundation to expand, he would absolutely become a colossus in the future. This Fiend Master was truly an ambitious and ruthless person. That's right. On the surface, he was taking revenge for his son, but secretly he wanted to seize a world. It was truly a good scheme. It was over. It seemed that even the holy city couldn't stop the rise of the Fiend Palace. This time, the Rain clan was truly doomed. Countless discussions rang out. The Fiend Master was very pleased with himself. He waved his hand. Come out. He was summoning his subordinates. He wanted to refine the world core in front of the Rain clan. However, even after waiting for a while, no one came out. This caused everyone to be dumbfounded. What was going on? What was going on? The people of the Fiend Palace were also dumbfounded. Could it be that an accident had occurred? A small saint frowned. The Fiend Master's complexion sank. Hurry up and come out. He shouted coldly, and countless lightning bolts streaked across the sky. As long as you were in this world, you would definitely be able to hear this sound. However, no one came out. This scene caused everyone to be even more shocked. Could it be that an accident had occurred? This was impossible. The Rain clan had already lost the world core. What accident could have occurred? The update was a bit late. Sorry. Chapter 3789. Where are they? Hurry up and come out. Don't let the palace master get angry. The experts in the surroundings also bellowed furiously. However, not a single person came out. At this moment, the people of the Fiend Palace were completely alarmed. The Fiend Overlord's complexion also darkened. Could it be that his subordinates ran away with the treasure? Thinking of this possibility, he was driven mad with anger. Damn it! Who dared to betray him? In the outer space, the people watching the battle also cried out in alarm. What was going on? No one came out. Could it be that the Fiend Overlord was really betrayed? That was possible. After all, that was a world soul. Who wouldn't covet it? One after another, discussions could be heard. The people of the Rain clan were also enraged. They were also frantically searching for the world soul. Right now, they didn't have time to ridicule the Fiend Overlord. They had to quickly find the world soul. The Fiend Overlord was also personally searching for the world soul. In the sky, a pair of fiend eyes swept through all directions, covering every corner of the world. However, he still didn't discover his subordinates. But soon he bellowed furiously. His palm directly covered the ground, creating a crack. Within the cracks, soil was churning and rocks were jumping about. There was also blood and bones buried within the cracks. Dead. The experts of the Fiend Palace were dumbstruck when they sensed the aura above. The Fiend Overlord also bellowed furiously. Damn it! Who is it? Who dares to attack my subordinates? Get the hell out here! He bellowed crazily and chopped down with the long blade in his hand. This time, countless cracks appeared in the sky, and the ground kept sinking. Everyone was so scared that they started shivering. At the same time, their hearts were beating wildly. What was going on? Could it be that an expert had secretly made a move? Had the world soul been snatched away? Who was it? Who was so daring to set themselves against the Fiend Overlord? It couldn't be a holy city, right? For a moment, many people were whispering to each other. The people of the holy cities were also extremely shocked. They were certain that it wasn't them who had done it. However, they didn't know whether it was someone else who had done it or not. For a moment, those holy cities were also discussing with each other. But soon they were dumbfounded. That was because they discovered that it really wasn't a holy city. Who was it? At this moment, everyone was curious. Who was it that was so daring? The Fiend Overlord was so angry that his whole body trembled. He was so angry that he vomited blood. Thinking back to how arrogant and high-spirited he was before, he wanted to refine the world soul in front of the Rain clan. He also wanted to announce to the world that he, the Demon Lord, had come and was going to rule the world. But now he had been ruthlessly slapped in the face. His subordinates had been quietly killed by someone, and the world soul had been snatched away. What was even more infuriating was that he didn't even know who his opponent was. As the overlord of a region, the Demon Lord had never been so humiliated before. The people from the Rain clan gnashed their teeth in anger. As expected, they had lost the world soul. Their greatest reliance was gone. Although they didn't know who had stolen it, they had placed their hatred on the Demon Palace. This was because they were all from the Fiend Palace. If the Fiend Palace did not attack them, how could they lose their world souls? Damn it! Kill them? The people of the Rain clan roared crazily. At this moment, the evil demon overlord was also furious. Kill them all. Kill all these rain technique people. I want to bathe double rain star in blood. The war started again, and continued for nearly half a year. In the end, the peak power of the Rain clan was completely wiped out, and the remaining 2 Saint Venerables were killed. Without a leader, the Rain clan was completely finished. Although the Demon Palace had also suffered disastrous losses, with many Saint Venerables and small saints dying, the number of Saint Venerables was still too great. There were countless saints, but the Demon Overlord's avatar was still alive. He led the remaining forces and swept through all 4 directions. The Rain clan was finished. In outer space, the people who were watching the war shook their heads and sighed. There was no suspense anymore. The people of the Wind Spirit Star also withdrew. Previously they had joined hands, but now, the Rain clan was completely finished. They wouldn't continue to fight with their lives on the line. Therefore, these people began to withdraw, and even left with their king spirits. On the other side, the people of the Rain clan were getting more and more. Wuxia stood in the sea of blood and mountains of corpses. Her eyes were numb. She didn't expect that the clan that had been at its peak would end up like this. Wuxia quickly climbed up the altar. The remaining elders of the Rain clan roared crazily. Wuxia was pushed onto the altar. Immediately, the blood in the surroundings began to circulate crazily. Even the power of the dead Saint Venerables surged into Wuxia's body. We've already activated your bloodline. Now you're the one with the most powerful bloodline in our Rain clan. Quickly leave. As long as you're alive, the Rain clan still has hope. The people of the Rain clan forcefully sent Wuxia away. Then everyone of the Rain clan was killed. Mountains of corpses and seas of blood. Ghosts wailed and wolves howled. A world-class clan was annihilated. The shock caused by this was absolutely heaven-shaking. The second astral realm was completely boiling. Everyone was spreading the news. Everyone was discussing the battle that had just taken place. Of course, there was also that mysterious person. The Demon Palace had occupied the Double Rain planet. At the same time, the Demon Overlord had issued a universal arrest warrant. He was chasing after Wuxia. He was chasing after the person who had seized the world soul. No matter where the other party fled to, he would definitely tear the other party into pieces. This storm was still ongoing. Lin Xian and the others had already arrived at a remote and declining small world. They went down and completely concealed themselves. Lin Xian was currently fusing with the world soul with all his strength. This process was very slow. It took more than a year. Spring came and autumn went. Winter came and summer went. In this year, too many things had happened in the second astral realm. The Demon Palace had taken over the Double Rain planet. However, later on, other forces forcefully interfered. Those holy cities also wanted a share of the pie. They all set up camp on the Double Rain planet and began to divide the resources. However, they could only divide the resources on the surface. As for the world soul, this kind of thing that even Saint Kings would covet, they couldn't obtain it. Wuxia had completely disappeared. No one knew where she went. As for that mysterious powerhouse, he seemed to have never appeared. Until now, they hadn't found any clues. They didn't even know who the other party was. This made the Demon Palace go crazy with anger. Especially the Demon Overlord, he almost went crazy. On this day Lin Xian woke up. He opened his eyes, and the corners of his mouth raised into a smile. He had already begun the initial fusion. The following fusion didn't require him to deliberately control it. As time passed, he would become more and more familiar with it. This feeling was really too wonderful. He had a mysterious connection with the world. With a thought, he could even control the heaven and earth phenomenon of that world. He was like a god, controlling the laws of heaven and earth. Oh right. How's the situation outside? After Lin Xian came out, he asked. The dark red divine dragon and Black Mountain had been inquiring about the news. Even the northern demon had come out. He had almost recovered. In fact, his cultivation had even gone up a level. At this moment, he had already reached the second heaven. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.